This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast, or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Del City, Oklahoma, where the Del City Eagles this evening are taking on their crosstown rivals, and that's why we're here. The Carl Albert Titans. The Del City Eagles come in 0-1. The Titans come in 1-0. This is week 2 in high school football, and this evening you're going to we'll be competing a little bit with the announcer next door because he is very, very loud. And so we hope that you'll be able to hear everything that we share with you this evening. This evening, Braden, this is Kirk Norman with the play-by-play, and Braden Conover, who will be doing the color commentating this evening. And Braden, this evening we have the opportunity to rededicate this stadium and this new field for the Del City Eagles in memory of Robert Kalsu, or Bob Kalsu. And he was a graduate here of the Del City High School, went on to play for the Oklahoma Sooners, and was actually in or on a national championship team for the Sooners, and then went on to play for the Buffalo Bills and was called up into service in the Vietnam War, and is the only NFL player to ever die in the Vietnam War. And so his family is here this evening, and we are just excited to be able to be a part of this, especially on 9/11.
Yeah, it's really, really special, and obviously Bob Kalsu he truly exemplifies what it means to be an American, but not only American, an Oklahoman. You know, it's the Oklahoma standard, and Bob Kalsu really just exemplifies that to the highest degree, and he paid the highest sacrifice for us, and so it's an honor to be here tonight as they rededicate the facility to him.
Well, as we said, this is week 2. There are football games that will be taking off all over the state this evening. I want to remind you, and this obviously affects teams all over the state, but in this situation of COVID-19, you've got to be ready for the next man up. And I know that we've got some players on both teams this evening that will be dealing with the next man up mentality, and because we've got not players that actually have COVID, but have been around somebody. So the contact tracing also pushes them off the field and out of the classroom.
Which it's good. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
It's great that we're able to use these resources to trace the contacts and everything like that. So it's just going to be a part of it for 2020, and hopefully it's just for 2020. Hopefully we're not talking about this next year. But yeah, it's part of it. It's just a new part of the game. Next man up, like you said.
Well, we're going to be back with you here for a recap for both schools and how they played last week as we get ready for this broadcast of the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll be right back with you here for the recap of both schools from last week on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
Since 1908, Cameron University has served students from all over the world. With nearly 50 degrees in 2-year, 4-year, and graduate programs, we have something to inspire you. Health and wellness facilities plus a wide variety of clubs and activities will help you find your perfect fit. Small class sizes allow you to be yourself while discovering your future potential as part of the Aggie family. Come experience the Axe. Enroll today at www.cameron.edu.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. I'm Kirk Norman, and we have Braden Conover with us. Last week, the Del City Eagles went up the Turnpike to meet the Booker T. Washington Hornets, and there they fell to the Hornets. 13-15 was the final. Del City jumped on top in the first quarter, and that was due actually to a fumble recovery down on the 18-yard line of Booker T. So a very, very short field. And that gives me a little bit of reason to think that maybe the offense was kind of sputtering all night long, because it was obviously a defensive game with a score of 13-15. In the second quarter, Booker T got a safety, and so it pushed that score 7-2, and then Booker T scored and was unsuccessful in the point after try, and that brought the halftime score Del City 7, Booker T 8. Then in the third quarter, Booker T went ahead and extended out a little bit and got another score, and put the score at 7-15. And Del City scored late in the fourth, and that's how the game ended up, was 13-15. Did you see anything in that game that gives you pause for Del City?
Definitely just seeing the way Jacoby Smith, their senior quarterback, handles the game. It's a lot like what we saw last week against Midwest City. He's just very calm, collected, knows how to run that offense. This is his fourth year in the system, and he knows what he's doing, and he's quick. And,
he's quick.
You got to keep him inside the pocket, and hopefully just, keep that young secondary. Hopefully they can buy enough time for that front four to get to Jacoby. And then as well, L.J. Brown, their senior running back, he's a great running back. It's just going to be a lot of, 2 yards and a cloud of dust.
That's right. Well, as you hopefully watched last week on our broadcast on the Oklahoma Sports Network and on Facebook Live, you saw the Carl Albert Titans come out, and to be quite honest, Braden, in the first half they were just sluggish.
It looked sloppy, and that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, that was not the game we were looking for. But they came out in the second half. I mean, we talked about it last year. I've talked about it for the last several years. But this coaching staff does a great job at halftime adjustment.
Absolutely.
They came out with a two-back set in the second half,
yep.
And their line took over the ball game. And the ball game ended up 41-26 in favor of the Titans. And an interesting stat from that I thought was pretty cool was 140 yards rushing from Javion Hunt, 140 yards rushing from Bazell, and 140 yards passing for Harris. Ended up with 451 yards of total offense.
140 cubed is usually a good formula to I'm no mathematician, as you well know.
Yes, exactly.
But, that seems like a pretty good winning formula right there.
Well, I think that if we could come off with that, if we could just come off with a good rushing, a good even passing. I mean, you talk about an even game. That was a pretty even game. We did well in the kicking game as well, because even Jacob Eddy had 5 touchbacks in the game, and so you can't hardly ask for much more than that for a first outing, even though the first half just really looked bad.
It really was just a glorified scrimmage for Carl Albert. And the whole scheme of things. Not much practice under their belt. Obviously, Coach Corley post-game didn't let that be an excuse. But nonetheless, Carl Albert, great job, like you said, making adjustments at halftime, and they were able to get the W.
Well, we're going to take a break here and come back with the keys to the game following this little broadcast note. And I want to tell you as well that we would like to thank Estridge for tonight's game, brought by Estridge Honda, where they go the Estridge mile for their customers. It's also where you can get a 2020 Honda Accord LX CVT for just $199 a month. visit EstridgeHonda.com. We'll be right back with you with the keys of the game on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sports is your leader in team sports, specializing in outfitting the entire team with screen printing, embroidery, team sports uniforms using dye sublimation from start to finish. They are truly your one-stop shop. With over 13 years of experience, you can trust the job will be done right with all work done in-house. Fallout Sports, 534 North Penn, phone 405-701-5933.
Did you get that new F-150?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Greg Darnell Ford.
How was it?
Darn good!
We've got darn good deals with 0% interest for 72 months on most 2020 models. F-150s as low as $459 a month. Escapes as low as $349 a month. Fusions as low as $319 a month.
There's a new sheriff in town, and I'm laying down the law on low prices.
Hudiburn, the dealership Oklahomans can count on.
Why can you count on them?
Because they give their customers more. Oklahoma is growing, and Hudiburn is growing too, with 5 different brands and thousands of new and used vehicles.
Hudiburn, 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 Hudiburn! Wow! It's been 60 years and Hudiburn is still here.
You can count on Hudiburn. We'll give you more.
Hudiburn.com.
You can count on Hudiburn. We'll give you more.
Welcome back here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Kirk Norman and Braden Conover here with your Carl Albert game night broadcast. We are live on Facebook Live and also on the OklahomaSportsNetwork.com. And so the keys to the game, Braden, I wrote out some things that I think are very, very important.
Yeah.
We watched Jacoby Smith play last year, and this kid, I said something to the coaches earlier in the week, and not to take anything away from him at all, but I did say to one of the coaches earlier this week, I bet his parents wish he were about 3 to 4 inches taller.
Yeah.
Because this kid has got talent. He is talent personified. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He is smart on the field. He's got great game knowledge. And so one of the keys for the game for me is that you've got to keep Jacoby Smith and L.J. Brown in a box.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Well, you know, part of that is you're going to have to trust your young secondary. I keep saying that. It's going to come up a lot this year, is that young secondary is going to have to be put on an island. You're going to be able to trust them. That way you can take Jacoby and L.J. Brown out of the game as much as possible. You're not going to be able to contain them for the full 48. That's right. Just not going to happen. But if you can contain them within a box, you know, put 8, even 9 guys, maybe even 10 in some situations, if you can stack the box that much, you know, I like Carl Albert's chances of winning this ball game.
I do too. The next key to the game for me is to play your game. Carl Albert has got a very good game scheme, and we just need to play that. You know, let the big boys up front eat. Let them do their job. Now, interestingly enough, we're going to be looking at strength against strength tonight because the number 1 offense of the Carl Albert Titans will be going against the number 1 defense of Del City.
Yeah.
And Del City's got a good defensive front.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can tell even by the game last week, Booker T has never come out with, you know, that few of points in a game. I mean, that's just not their thing. So let the big boys eat. Let them wear them down. Let them do the thing that they did even last week, and come out and make the things happen.
I mean, if you get 280 yards out of your 2 running backs, it's pretty easy. That's a winning formula. But you don't get 280 yards rushing without all 5 guys up front being able to do their job down in and down out.
That's right. And as we said, I mean, there's players coming in and players coming out all the time on that line. Actually, right now, I think we're actually moving in about 8 to 9 guys on that line. That is a luxury that not a lot of high schools have.
Yeah.
But they're doing a good job, and that's Coach John Madden, or he's doing an incredible job of putting those linemen together on that offensive line. The other thing is, this is an emotional night, and this is the first time we've got new helmets for Del City. They've got a brand new field. This is their first time to play on this field. They've got a brand new stadium. We know what that was like last year when we got ours taken care of 1 year before theirs. But this is an emotional night, rededicating the stadium to Bob Kalsu. So play within yourself. That's what our guys need to do, is don't get caught up in the emotion. Just play within themselves and play the game. What do you think?
Well, we saw it last week. There was a lot of penalties,
Yes.
and Coach Corley mentioned that in the post-game interview last week. That's something that is just totally unacceptable. Doesn't matter what week it is.
That's
It's
right.
completely unacceptable, and I'm sure they addressed it this week with some nice sprints. But but yeah, I mean, like you said, you just got to play within yourself. Don't let the moment be too big for you. And if you're Carl Albert, you've been here before. That's the other thing is it's just another weekend. It's another Friday.
That's right.
Just strap up that helmet extra tight because it is a rivalry game. But you've been here before, and just go out there and suit up and play.
Last week, the Carl Albert Titans had an interception and a turnover, fumble, and so we've got to win the turnover game. Last week also, Del City threw an interception and had a fumble, and so both teams have you don't want to say this is anything that is consistent because as you saw and as I saw, there were some push-ups going on the sidelines during the game for a fumble down there.
Yep.
And so both of these quarterbacks, seniors, Jacoby Smith and Ben Harris, they have what it takes to move this ball down the field. They both do. They have the skill positions around them to make that happen. But we need to win the turnover game. If it's a turnover, it needs to be coming from the other side.
Absolutely. And, we, like you said, we saw that last week. Kentrell Bazell knocking out some push-ups after a fumble that, really he didn't take what the defense gave him. He tried to get that extra, looked like 10 yards. You love that second effort, but you just got to get down. Just take what the defense gives you. And, if offensively, take what the defense gives you again and just get down as soon as possible and, hit your marks.
That's right.
If you're Ben Harris, throwing the ball, just hit your marks and don't be as erratic as he was last week.
That's right.
I don't know if it was just nerves or butterflies or what, but he was a little erratic early throwing the ball around.
All right, we're going to be coming back with the coin toss, the starting lineups, and get this game underway. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where we're looking at the center of the field for the coin toss. And we have number 6 for Del City, Donovan Stephens, and number 78 for Carl Albert, Noah Dobson at the center of the field. And we're watching closely to see how this is going to be. There was a little flyover there by a T-38 trainer out of Vance Air Force Base for this game. The referee is talking to them nicely, telling them don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And isn't that what they say?
Well, if it's nothing that you would do, that takes a lot of stuff off the table.
Yeah, I guess so. No kicking, no punching, no eye. I remember the Three Stooges, part. This is what you can't do. Okay, so the coin has been up. Looks like Del City won the toss. Del City has chosen to defer. And so Carl Albert, Noah, is going to say. Well, we're watching, and they're turning. So Del City is going to be defending the north end zone. Carl Albert is going to receive and be defending the south end zone. And there's your coin toss. So Carl Albert will have the ball first. So remember, that was your New Level Nutrition coin flip, and we're thankful for their support. So Carl Albert's going to take the ball first, and the players will be coming out on the field. Let's go ahead and move into our starting lineups. That is sponsored by Wiggy's. Get Wiggy with it. And so our Carl Albert Titan starting lineups. Number 78, Noah Dobson. Number 77, Dax Swanner. Number 66, Wisdom Combs. Number 51, Nathan Mooney. Number 72, Corey O'Hagan. Number 85 at tight end, Corey Zangari. Number 1, running back, Javion Hunt. Number 12 at quarterback, Ben Harris. Number 19, wide receiver, Demarion Brown. Number 17, Xavier Thomas. And number 3, Kobe Cruz. Now your Del City starters.
Starting offensively for the Eagles, on left tackle, number 53, Montrell Lee. At left guard, number 77, Quadre Galbraith. At center, number 73, the senior, Nate West. At right guard, number 78, Makai Lewis. And at right tackle, number 72, Michael Ogwin. At H-back tonight for the Eagles is number 9, Davion Mooks. And at wide receivers, we got number 7, Sherrod Davis. Number 5, Jaden Jones. And number 14, Jaquil Mitchell. In the backfield for the Eagles is number 3, L.J. Brown. And under center, number 2, Jacoby Smith.
And now for your Carl Albert Titans on defense, your number 57, Keon Dickerson. Number 81, Charles Fleming. Number 72, Corey O'Hagan. Number 61, Mason Still. Number 51, Nathan Mooney. Number 45, Kentrell Bazell. Number 20, R.T. Sherman. Number 34, Ezra Gustafson. Number 13, Tashawn James. Number 3, Kobe Cruz. And number 9, Lamarion Curry.
Starting on defense for Mike Dunn's Del City Eagles. At defensive end, number 11, Jaden Foreman. At defensive tackle, number 28, Jalen Owens. At nose guard, number 55, the senior, Kevin Green. At the Viper defensive end position, number 84, Savon Cephas. At will linebacker, number 40, Jason Smith. At Mike linebacker, number 8, Rajon Tatum. And at the rover position, number 6, Donovan Stevens. At strong safety starting tonight is number 1, Kenijal Thomas. At weak safety, number 14, Jaquil Mitchell. And on the outside, we got corners number 23, C.J. Pluckett. Number 81, Amante Williams. And number 31, Ty Burris.
That was your starting lineups by Wiggy Plumbing, Heating and Air, 405-732-6226. Get Wiggy with it. Our keys to the game are sponsored by Entrust Insurance Agency for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. And our coin toss again, New Level Nutrition. For a healthy meal replacement, come to New Level Nutrition, 2839 South Douglas Boulevard. So here we are getting ready for the kickoff. And back deep.
Kicking for the Eagles this season is number 18, Stanley Johnson.
I think maybe Kobe Cruz this evening. Is that 3 out there? Hard to see on the side like that.
It is number 10. Miles Lewis is deep for the Titans.
And there's your kickoff. Comes over here to number 13. And he's up to about the 30-yard line. He's hit hard.
It was Tashawn James on the return. Looks like we're going to get a targeting call.
That ball is placed right there at the 29-yard line, and in Titan territory, and they're actually going to call a holding on the Titans. So that's going to move the ball back to about the 19-yard line.
I know Coach Fairley is not going to be happy with that call at all. Even though it was the correct call, there's going to be some more running, I feel like, on Monday.
So here we are at the 19-yard line. And you've got a one-back set of Javion Hunt in the backfield. Ben Harris in at quarterback. 2 men to the bottom of your screen, 1 man to the top. 1 man in motion. That's Kobe Cruz across the pass. He's in the middle. Oh, actually had a cut there, but did not stay with it and got caught up there by number 6, Donovan Stevens from Del City. So that will actually be a loss of about 2 yards, maybe 1 yard. So it brings up 2nd down and 11 for the Titans.
Yeah, you're going to be calling Donovan Stevens' name a lot tonight. He plays that rover position. It's kind of like a hybrid nickelback / a outside linebacker. Pretty much wherever they need him, he's going to be. I mean, that kid is quick, and as you saw there, he knows how to tackle.
We're going to go with an empty backfield this time. 3 men to the bottom of your screen, 2 men to the top. So Harris is in the shotgun. This is a little bit different set than what we showed last week. Harris is going to have a little screen pass out here to the side, and that's to number 3, Kobe Cruz, across the 40, across the midfield, and pushed out of bounds there again by number 6, Donovan Stevens. Great little pass out route there for Kobe Cruz, quick hitting.
Yep, great swing pass there. Just allows Kobe to get in space. Great blocking upfield on the outside to set up that run by the wide receivers on the near sideline.
Looking for the play to come in from the sidelines. And the play clock has been reset, so we've got plenty of time. Here we go again. 3 men to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. Harris is in the empty backfield again. Looks like they're going to be coming. It's the way they're at least watching it up. They are. They're bringing everybody. Harris has got a little pass across the middle, and he hits a man down there about the 42-yard line.
Kobe Cruz
again, that was Kobe Cruz. He looks like he's got the hot hand tonight, and he's pushed out of bounds there by number 28, Jalen Owens.
Excuse me, that was actually number 40, Jason Smith.
Excuse me. You pointed to it.
I pointed, that's right. At least I got my binoculars this week.
All right, that brings up, that's a nice little 5-yard gain, brings up 2nd down and 5 for the Titans. And they're now in the Eagle territory at the 42-yard line.
Gavin Haynes to the top side of your screen.
Going to stay with that empty set in the backfield. 3 to the top. Actually got a little motion out there. Kobe Cruz's leg popped up, and they're going to catch him on that. He picked up his ankle, and you could see it all the way from here, so I could imagine that guy over there in the stripes could see it too.
Dead ball, full start on the Titans. Back him up.
That's going to move it back 2nd down and 10 now. Ball back at the 47-yard line.
That's going to make it 2nd and 10, back from the Eagle, 47.
So here we are, 3 men to the top of your screen and 2 men to the bottom. Harris is in the shotgun. This time we're going to fake to the and that's well played there. That was by number 3, L.J. Brown, who came in there from that deep corner position on Javion Hunt. And that actually was a loss then, put back to about 3 more yards, puts it right back to midfield and brings up 3rd down and 13 for the Titans.
Yeah, forcing Ben Harris to take a shot deep here. An obvious passing down. Del City's probably going to bring some pressure here. That's just another reason why penalties kill drives.
Javion Hunt in the backfield this time. 3 men to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. Harris is going to split out. He's got a man coming around the outside. That's a catch there by Kobe Cruz. It just depends on where they're going to put the spot. He actually made it. He is just 1 yard short of the 1st down, so it'll be 4th and 1 there at about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, Sherrod Davis there in coverage.
All right, Eagles fans, we need you to get up.
Looks like we're going to go Trojan horse here as Ben Harris actually comes off the field.
There we go, Trojan horse, and this time we're gonna bring in both the big boys. Caleb Zangari's in there at tight end. We've got Javion Hunt in the backfield. Everybody knows what's going to happen. They just don't know where it's going to go and who's going to push the hardest. So Javion takes the snap. He goes to the left side. He's got the 1st down and a little bit more. picked up about 3 yards on the carry, brings up 1st and 10 for the Titans at the Eagle 35-yard line.
I'm going to give Rajon Tatum the stop there. A little gain tackle by the Eagles.
There again, that Trojan horse is what we're calling that when it's that direct snap to the running back. But, you know, there's nothing that's surprising about that. It's just who's going to stop it.
Absolutely. And I think we've only seen it, you know, ran well over 100 times over the past 15 games, and I think we've only seen it stopped maybe once.
Here we go with that two-back set. We saw this come out in the Midwest City game last week in the second half. So you've got Kentrell Bazell and Javion Hunt in the backfield. Handoff to Bazell. He's going to push across right up the middle. He's going to pick up about 3 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Titans at the 31-yard line.
Jalen Owens on the stop there for the Eagles.
Well, they just continue to move the ball. They've been able to move it in the air, been able to move it on the ground. You're right, a couple of penalties. One right off the kickoff, and then that illegal procedure penalty that pushed us back a little bit, but we were able to overcome that. Two-back set, one man to the top of your screen. Caleb Zangari is down here at the bottom of your screen as tight end. Harris is going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Hunt this time. Hunt's going to move across the right side. Push up for about a yard. And so that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 to go from the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Darius Hampton and Donovan Stevens on the stop there.
Donovan Stevens, that'll bring up 3rd down.
3rd down and 6. We haven't been afraid to put it in the air. We're going to go with the empty backfield again. 3 players to the bottom of your screen, 2 players to the top. Got a man coming off the left side. He is going to come around. He's picked up by Dobson. Kobe Cruz has got the ball, and he's got the 1st down. He's down at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down, Carl Albert from the 20-yard line. And that puts us into the red zone. Triple Elite, find world-class designs and hot new styles at Triple Elite.
Yeah, Kobe Cruz, lucky he had 4 points of contact on that ball there because number 1, Kanijal Thomas, coming in from behind and putting his helmet right on that ball. Lucky he didn't pop out. Great ball handling by Kobe Cruz.
So here we are with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3 men to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. Harris is going to take the snap. He's going to
false start.
Actually had a little bit of an opening there. But again, those things have a tendency to come back and bite you. So that's going to push us back to the 25-yard line. 1st down and 15 from the 25.
You know, I saw something there that we normally don't see is Wisdom Combs, the center, got pancaked by number 72, Michael Ogwin by the Eagles. Just, I don't know what happened there, if it was a false start on him and he forgot to snap it or a snap infraction or what, but he wasn't ready for that play.
Well, that just may make Wisdom mad, so we'll see. 3 men at the top of your screen, 2 men at the bottom. Harris has got a little bit of a fumble there to pick up the ball. He's got plenty of time. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. Oh! He hit him right in the hands. And we do have a flag back here.
Got another one, too. And they got Wisdom on, made contact with the official. Looked like he was just trying to get up. I don't know if he said something or what. Got right in the white cap's face. Like you said, that last play made him mad.
Yeah, I know. And that, again, we cannot lose our composure in a game like this, because it is an emotional game with an in-district rival. So let's see what the man in the white hat says. He's going to say holding on Carl Albert. So that's going to make it 1st down. Oh, wait a minute. We've got dead ball personal foul. So if that holds up, it should give us 5 yards back. Is that not right?
Yeah, we're going
to go
mark it off.
10 back and then 15 forward. And it's going to make it 1st and 10 again. Am I right? There we go. 10 yards back, 15 yards forward. I can do that math. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 20, right back where we started 2 plays ago.
We'll take it.
That's right. Actually, I would have loved to have that touchdown right there because it hit him right in the hands, about 4 yards deep in the end zone.
We've got a play clock reset here. Nothing major.
So here we are, Javion Hunt backing up Ben Harris in the backfield. 1 man to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. Harris going to take the snap, pitch it out there to Hunt. Hunt's going to cut back across the left side. The ball is out. Not sure who picked it. It must be us because they're holding up second down, so it'll be second down and 10. And there again, that's one of the things we talked about in our keys to the game is we cannot have those fumbles. We can't have the fumbles.
Yeah, Del City being the #1 defense in 6A2, they're going to be ball hunting. That's their goal is to go get that ball back for the offense.
Here we are with 5 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first quarter. Your first quarter sponsor is Joshua Chapman Insurance, the best customer service, ensuring each client is educated on their specific coverage options. Call Joshua today. They're going to have looks like a timeout for Del City. So we'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
MM7 Sports Cards is your trading card and sports memorabilia store. Located just off I-35 and Moore, we carry a large variety of sports cards, old and new. We also have unique memorabilia for your office or your man cave. So come see us today. We are always buying, trading, talking, all things sports. MM7 Sports Cards, 2308 North Broadway, or check us out online at mm7sportscards.com.
We're back with you, Kirk Norman here and Braden Conover on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where Carl Titans have pretty much worked out 10 minutes of this quarter so far, and actually 7 minutes of this quarter. And it's 5 minutes and 8 seconds to go. 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Javion Hunt is in the backfield with Ben Harris. He's going to fake the pass. He's got an open man in the touchdown, Carl Albert. That is, I believe that's number 11, Gavin Haynes. Am I right?
You would be correct.
All right, great hands there by Gavin Haynes. They moved the ball down the field, 81 yards, and then a 20-yard touchdown pass from Harris to Gaines, and that brings the score Carl Albert 6, Del City 0.
As you saw there on the replay, they set up the screen throughout the drive. They set up the screen to Kobe Cruz. As Jacob Eddy, the snap is good, hold is good, and the kick is also good. So that makes it Carl Albert 7, Del City 0. But as you saw in that last play there, play was set up by multiple fake screens to Kobe Cruz, and then they do it again, but this time they fake the swing pass, go over the top. Gavin Haynes working his way downfield for the 20-yard touchdown completion.
That was a beautiful pass there. It hit Gavin right on stride, coming in the right side of the end zone there. He had, 2-3 yards on the defender?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that play fake was just brilliant. Faking the swing pass, make the corner jump, and then get right behind him.
All right. Well, there's the first score at an away game for this season of 2020 in the Drive for 5. And Carl Albert is 7, and Del City is 0. Our quarter sponsor this evening is Joshua Chapman Insurance, the best customer service, ensuring each client is educated on their specific coverage options. Call Joshua today. Well, Braden, that's what we needed to do, and really we didn't have a lot of pressure. This is a pretty big defensive line. Didn't have a lot of pressure that was coming in from the backside or coming through the middle, so the line held up. And that's a good omen for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, just a great job there offensively by the front five, led by led by a bunch of seniors, so you know they're well experienced and can handle a big defensive front that the Del City Eagles tout.
Jacob Eddy is in for the kick for the Carl Albert Titans. And back deep for Del City. I think I have that.
They don't have shoulder patches.
Nope.
Number 14 and number 1.
And that's going to be a touchback, so the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. Well, it's a beautiful evening this evening. The weather turned off very nice. The rain quit about noon today, and we're looking at about 66, 67 degrees out here, and so it's a great night for football, and we're just so glad that you could be a part of this with us on the Oklahoma Sports Network and Facebook Live.
Let's see what this defense can do. They let up a lot of points last week, a lot more than the Titans are accustomed to, and Caleb Zangari, he challenged them at the end of the game last week. He said he wanted to see a 0 this week. So let's see how this defense can hold up.
You've got Jacoby Smith in the backfield. Jacoby takes the snap. He's going to hand it off there. The ball's down on the ground. Jacoby picks it up. He's hitting the backfield, but he's free, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. There was plenty of opportunity right there for the Titans to have a beautiful turnover. That ball was bouncing all around, but we could not come up with it.
Yeah, just as I say his name, Caleb Zangari makes another play there. Looked like a bad handoff from Jacoby. Got a little caught up there in the sleeves, but just a great job of Zangari being there, making the hit, and then allowing the rest of everybody to come make the play. Mason Still got the tackle on that play.
Number 3, L.J. Brown, is deep in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to L.J. Brown across the left side, and he gets stacked up there about the 22-yard line. And that's where the ball is going to be. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8, a long 7 to 8.
Makes it 3rd and 7 for the Eagles.
So here's the first critical down for the Titans on defense, is to see if we can stop this. 2 men to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. We've got 2 high safeties in the backfield. There's a flag on the play.
Snap infraction. Or was that the left guard?
I don't know. It came from the backfield, so it doesn't look like it would have been. Here's what they're going to say. The illegal procedure against the Eagles. And so with that penalty, that's going to move the ball back inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 12.
Peoples comes in for Davion Mooks.
This time you can see it's a little bit different. They're going, you've got L.J. Brown in the backfield with Jacoby Smith. 3 men to the top of your screen. Jacoby's going to drop back to pass. He's getting pressure from the backside. He's going to throw it across the middle, and that ball's up in the air. Oh, and down. Good defense there. That was number 34, Ezra Gustafson, coming in there and laying the hit there on the wide receiver.
It was a perfectly timed hit. I mean, if he was just a millisecond sooner, that would have been a 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down for the Eagles. But just a great job there of laying the wood and separating the receiver from the ball.
Brings up 4th down and 12, and that brings up a punting situation for the Eagles. And you couldn't have asked for a better defensive stand right there for the Titans.
It is a punting situation, but with Jacoby back there punting, you never know.
Got Lamarian Curry deep for the Titans, and he's going to get away from that ball because it's going to bounce back, and it's going to be great field position for the Titans at the Eagle 42-yard line.
Is down at the Eagle 42.
And we'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Nope, we're going to stay with you. Hang on there. We're going to stay with you because they're going to move that ball right on up. All right.
I think this referee crew has a tea time in the morning.
I'm saying so. They're moving this game. 1st down and 10. The ball's at the 42-yard line. 3 minutes and 16 seconds left here in the first quarter. And the Titans, again, go to that 2 men to the top of your screen, 3 men to the bottom. Empty backfield with Harris back there in the shotgun position. Harris is going to do this flat pass out to the side, and there's really no place to go there for Javion Hunt. We're going to lose about 3 yards on that one, push the ball back to the 45.
I do like what the Titans are doing here so far, trying to get the ball in the air, get those Eagles out of the box, because obviously they watched film from last week's game, and they're probably going to try to stack the box to stop that two-headed monster of Kentrell Bazell, and Javion Hunt.
Well, here we go with 3 men to the bottom of your screen, 1 man to the top. We've got Javion Hunt in the backfield backing up Ben Harris. Harris is going to take the snap. He's going to back up for the pass. He's got time. He's going to throw long. He's got a man open, but just overthrew him there about the 14-yard line.
He had Gavin Haynes with nobody around him for a solid 15 yards.
That was intended there for Kobe Cruz, but just a little bit overthrown, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 13 again from the 45-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Kobe coming across on that crossing route, trying to just break up that secondary. He was the second read on that play, with Gavin Haynes being the 3rd. And obviously Kobe Cruz made enough separation for Ben Harris to be able to unleash the rocket, but just a little too far.
3 men to the bottom of the screen, 1 man to the top. Hunt is in the backfield. Harris is going to drop back to pass. He's got a man wide open out here on the side. He's at about the 36-yard line, where he's taken down there by number 3. That's Hunt again, I believe, or it's L.J. Brown again for the Del City Eagles. So he picks up about 8 yards on that, so it's going to bring up about 4th down and 6. The ball is going to be placed there at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the Tigers are just going to punt here.
Yeah, 7 yards picked up. Harris is not only the quarterback, but he is also the punter. So Harris is in. Bazell, Hunt are in the backfield as well.
Nobody deep for the Eagles.
That's a pretty short field, so he's going to have to put it up in the air or put it right out in the corner. And he soft kicked that. It depends on the bounce at this point. Bad bounce. Oh, that looked like it held. Oh, no.
Barely.
I thought it held in there, right down there at the half-yard line.
Couldn't quite get that 60-degree in there.
So that was 4 plays and out there for the Titans. They had great field position. There's 1 minute and 32 seconds left in the first quarter, and Del City is going to take over at their own 20-yard line.
Always got to capitalize. At least get 3 on the board when you start off in plus territory like the Titans did there.
Well, let's see the defense step up and do their job again. We've got Jacoby Smith and L.J. Brown in the backfield. Got a man in motion going from right to left, moving across to the other side. He sets. Jacoby is going to keep the ball and go around the left side. He's got a little bit of open running room. He's going to pick up about 5 yards down to the 25-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. That's what Jacoby can do, is when he makes up his mind, he doesn't hesitate.
No, not at all. I mean, he sets and goes. And he's very quick at making that read on that read option.
Here we go, Jacoby Smith and L.J. Brown. They're almost identical out there, it seems like.
Same size.
Yep, one's wearing a 2, one's wearing a 3. He's going to hand off to Brown this time. Brown's straight up the middle, across the 40, across the 45, and all the way down to midfield. And he gets tackled there at the 49-yard line. That's going to be a 26-yard pickup there for L.J. Brown, and you see the speed and the way that line blew out that middle there. First and 10 for the Eagles.
Lamarion Curry, number 9, and number 19, Demarion Brown on the tackle there.
2 men to the bottom, 1 man to the top. Brown and Smith in the backfield. Handoff there to Brown again. He's going to get tackled right there at the line of scrimmage, and it looks like we're going to have possibly a hold on Del City.
Yeah, Keon Dickerson just got pancaked, but maybe held him down on the ground a little too long.
Holding
that's exactly
on Del
what
City.
They're going to get him for.
And that's going to move the ball back from the Titan 49 back to the Eagle 41-yard line. And it will still be first down there. They're going to place the ball at the 40-yard line where it's still first down. Got a little break there, even though the yardage wasn't much. And we've got another flag.
Zingari jumped the snap, but it didn't look like he encroached at all. This is going to be an interesting call.
Yeah, that's what they're going to call, though, and they're going to give it 5 yards back there. And so with that, it's going to move the ball to the 45-yard line, and that brings up 1st down and 16 for the Eagles. That's
Now you watch the ball with your eyes, not your ears.
Yep, it's kind of using some things that the Titans have used against others. Jacoby Smith's going to drop back to pass. He's going to move around to this right side. He's and the ball's out! Ball's out! The ball's down! We've got the ball! There you go! Fumble! That was made there by Mason Still and Keon Dickerson.
Excuse me, that was actually Nathan Mooney, number 51.
Nathan Mooney picked up the ball, but Keon Dickerson was back there involved in getting that. And Nathan Mooney takes that ball away, and so the Titans have the ball on the fumble at the Del City 37-yard line. And that's the end of the quarter, so we'll be right back with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Can't wait to see this place.
All right, I got this app.
Would you like to tour the house?
Yes?
Please.
Would you like to tour the house?
We're here, dude.
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home.
Available now.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Handoff there to Javion Hunt, and he gets pushed, actually, up for 2 yards, about a 1.5 yard gain there from the 37 down to about the 36-yard line. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Titans. We begin the second quarter. Your second quarter sponsor is Brenda Stanley, Oklahoma Senate District 42. Keep faith, determination, hard work, and common sense working for you. Re-elect Brenda Stanley, Senate District 42. So here we are with the Titans in the second quarter, leading 7-0, 11 minutes and 24 seconds. 2 men to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. Javion Hunt is still backing up Ben Harris in the backfield. He takes the snap. He's going to hand off to Hunt. Hunt's going to move around the right side. He gets hit right there about the line of scrimmage, pushes up to about the 25. Those are the 35. Those are 2 tough yards there for Javion Hunt.
You know, Kajal Thomas, he's been limping around the past couple plays. If I'm Carl Albert, I go and attack him. I get him on an island and just do a double move because, I mean, he can barely even walk forward, let alone backwards.
3rd down and 8 for the Titans. 2 men top, 2 men bottom. Javion Hunt in the backfield with Ben Harris.
Thomas single coverage on Gavin Gaines.
Gavin Haynes
in the slot.
Harris, he's going to throw out here to the outside. Oh, and that was actually on time. Harris had to throw that ball because they were letting the backers come, and he threw that. And when that time when Houston Russell turned around, it was just right there in his face.
Well, that's where it should be when he turns around. That's great
exactly
timing
right
by Ben Harris.
So here we are, 4th down and 8. The ball is at the 35-yard line, still on that incompletion. And we've got Harris in punt formation. We'll be watching here because, again, this is about where we were on the other end of the field and couldn't get that ball to stick. So, you know, there are times you just wonder. Now there's a whistle again.
Sherrod Davis back for the Eagles.
And that's an intentional delay of game to get 5 more yards out of this.
Yep.
So the ball's going to be pushed back to the 40-yard line. And that should give Harris just enough room to get that punt down there.
See if we can make this a 51.5-yard punt.
That's what we need. Are you calling that? Is that what you're doing, Braden? Are you calling that?
Yep, always call my shot.
All right.
See it, hold it, roll it.
Long snapper there. The ball is out. The kick is away. The kick lands about the 10-yard line, and we've got men ready to pick it up down at the 0-yard line. He's down there at the half-yard line, and that is a beautiful special teams play by Coach Farley's young men.
Well, you're welcome, Kirk, for calling that. So
you did. You called that
just how I drew it up.
Absolutely right.
Coach Fairley, listened to me pregame.
And there you go.
And we got an official timeout here.
And so we'll take a timeout on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Moving in. All right, everybody get in real quick.
You just hold it like this, and you don't need to flash.
Learning with VR. Finals, baby! You know I got this!
I got an A! Nailed it!
We did it! Rose State College. Going somewhere starts here.
And we're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where the Del City Eagles are backed up in their own end zone. And Jacoby Smith is going to take the snap. He's going to hand off right there, right up the middle. And they're going to get about a yard and a half out to about the 3-yard line. That was L.J. Brown with the carry. He's tackled there by a host of Titans, one of them Keon Dickerson in there in the Viper position. So they're out at the 3-yard line, 2nd down and about 8. Jacoby Smith in the backfield. L.J. Brown. He's going to keep the ball himself across the middle. He's going to break up and get the first down and get out of the shadow of that end zone. And there again, it's that read option where he sees what's coming, and if you go towards Brown, he's going to keep it and run it right up the middle. That's going to move the ball all the way up to the 12-yard line. And a 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
With both of them being seniors, they know how to run that play to perfection. You can't tell who has the ball until they're already past you.
9 minutes and 29 seconds left here in the second quarter. Smith takes the snap, hands it off to Brown. Brown's going to push across that left side, and he's going to get blocked up there. He's going to make about 3 good yards out to the 15-yard line, and he's going to be stopped there. So 2nd down and 7. Well, it's been a pretty defensive battle so far. In the last 4 drives, we've had punt, fumble, and punt, and we'll see what the Eagles can do with it right off their own goal line in this drive for the rest of the half. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Jacoby Smith takes the ball. He looks like he's going to pass, but then he's going to break across the middle, and he's going to get stopped up there, maybe pick up a yard. That's what it looks like. The ball looked like it was out. I could see Coach Farley was throwing his hands up like we had it. But that's going to bring up 3rd down. The ball is going to be placed at the 17-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup, and that brings up 3rd down and 5.
And we're going to credit Keon Dickerson, number 57, from the Viper position with that tackle. He's just on the bottom of the pile.
So here we are, 3rd down and 5. Brown and Smith in the backfield. They're moving players around. 5 seconds on the play clock. 3 men at the bottom of your screen. Looks like Del City is going to have to take their second timeout of the quarter. We'll be right back with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where it's 3rd down and 5. The ball is on the 17-yard line. Jacoby Smith drops back for a pass. They're trying to keep him in the box. He's outside, and he is going to push up there. I don't think he's got the first down, but there is a flag on the field, and it looks like it could be holding on the Eagles.
There was a penalty flag on the play.
I think you want to take this one because it looked like it would be very, very close. And it looks like they actually might have given it to him all the way up to the 21-yard line. Don't move that post. It is holding on the Eagles, and so they're going to have to accept this. He's out at the 21-yard line, which makes it 4th and 1. And I don't know that you put it in the hands of 4th and 1 when you could have the possibility of about 3rd and 15.
Absolutely not. Much easier to defend a 3rd and 15 play. And it is a 4th and 1.
And they are going to move it back.
I mean, yeah, they're in their minus territory. They're almost in their own red zone. But don't take the chances here.
No.
The penalty is a 10-yard penalty. Puts the Eagles back at the 9.
Play another down. They're going to put the penalty all the way back to the 9-yard line on the penalty. Jacoby Smith in the backfield. Brown in the backfield with him. 2 men to the top, 2 men to the bottom. You've got to respect his feet when he comes out of that pocket. He's going to throw long across the – oh, and that is caught right there on the sidelines. We had a man that was in position ready to take that ball out, and that was number 7, Sherrod Davis, who took that ball. And first down for the Eagles all the way up to the 28-yard line. And that was just a well-thrown pass. It was a bullet.
Yeah, he's definitely got the arm strength. He's small, but he's mighty. And he can really zip that thing in there. I was watching him pregame. It just sounds a little different coming out of his hands.
2 men to the top, 2 men to the bottom. Still got L.J. Brown in the backfield. Jacoby Smith's going to hand off to Brown this time, and he's going to get caught in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped for a yard loss there.
Number 3, L.J. Brown on the carry, loss of 1.
That's going to take them back to the 27-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 11.
Nathan Mooney jumped in there in the backfield for the initial contact. Just a great job of shedding his block, getting skinny right through the hole, making the hit.
Well, the defense is playing well right now. Set aside a couple of big plays that have broken free, and the defense is doing a great job.
I mean, Del City's going to have those. They're too explosive on offense to not have a few
Plus,
big plays.
You've just got the Jacoby Smith factor is he can break loose anywhere.
Absolutely. Got to play contain.
Play clock is down to 1. They did not get that off, and there is a flag, another penalty for the Eagles, and that's going to move them back another 5 yards. So that's going to put them from the 27 back to the 22-yard line on that penalty.
Late substitution as Terry McMorris, number 15, was trying to get out there on the other side, on the opposite hash, and, he's quick, but he's not that quick.
Brings up 2nd and 16 for the Eagles. Back at their own 22. You can see there's just this go forward, take 1 step forward and 2 steps back right now going on. Jacoby Smith has the ball. He's throwing it out here in the flat. He's got a man wide open, number 14, and he gets knocked out of bounds there at the 35-yard line. That was Jakeo Mitchell with the reception. and he gets knocked out of bounds there by number 21, Jackson Holland. So that pushes the ball up to the 38-yard line and a first down. Actually, third and short. Third and very short. You got to believe this might just be an L.J. Brown run up the gut here. Going to hand off to Brown. He's going to hit right there, and I'm sure he got it. He just pushed body over. He's hit there by number 57, Keon Dickerson, and just enough. Just enough for the first down. They're going to give it to him right there at the 38 for the first down. So first down for the Eagles there at the 38, at their own 38-yard line. And I used this word last week, but really this is just one of those, who's gonna win the line of scrimmage type battles.
Absolutely.
And 2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. Jacoby Smith takes the ball, hands off to Brown. Brown is hit right there in the hole by Kentrell Bazell, number 45, for the Titans.
It was man-on-man crime right there. You could hear that up here in the press box.
He moves that ball up to the 40-yard line, so a 2-yard pickup, a little over 2 possibly. They're going to give it just in between the 40 and the 41. And so it's about second and a long 7 for the Eagles. 2 men to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. This time you've got a little H back in there. I can't see his number.
Number 9, Davian Mooks.
Okay. Jacoby Smith in the backfield. Hands off to Brown. Brown's going to get caught in the backfield back about the 38-yard line. So that's a loss there of 2 yards, 2.5 to 3 yards back to the 38.
It's Nathan Mooney once again.
And that puts it up at 3rd and 10 again for the Eagles.
He's having a heck of a game so far. Nathan Mooney's just flying all over the place. He's got a fumble recovery already. Just really settling into this Mike linebacker position, trying to be the captain of this defense.
2 men to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. This last time we came up to a 3rd and long. It was Jacoby Smith with just a dart across that right side to pick up the first down. L.J. Brown in for just coverage. He's breaking out again. You got to keep him in the box across midfield. 45, 40. He's hit from the backside.
Kentrell Bazell made the stop finally.
And that moves the ball all the way down to the Carl Albert Titan 35-yard line from the 38, first down for the Eagles.
And that is exactly what we're talking about with Jacoby Smith. I mean, as soon as a play breaks down, that's when the play begins, really, for Jacoby.
That's right.
He doesn't like to do what Coach Dunn tells him. He likes to improvise a little bit.
Carl Albert's going to take a timeout here and just to kind of regroup, I believe. One of the things we talked about in the keys to the game was keeping Jacoby Smith in a box.
Yeah.
One of the things that a quarterback like this or any kind of athlete like this he loves to see you running at him.
Absolutely, because that means he knows what he's doing and you don't.
That's exactly
right. It's a lot like
right.
a pitcher and a batter in baseball. It's, I know what I'm doing, you don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to make you miss, and I'm going to make you look stupid on TV.
Yeah, when you say keep it in a box, I know it's so difficult, but one of the things you have to do is stay patient, let him come to you. Don't give him that out, because when you make a move, he's gone.
Absolutely. So, you got to stay patient. You got to keep him in front of you, but at the same time, you can't be caught flat-footed.
No,
at all. You have to stay moving towards him, but you have to be in a you're playing defense. You got to be in a defensive position.
Break down.
Yeah, absolutely. Break down, chop those feet, and get a pat on them.
Yeah. So here we are. It is 7-0. 4 minutes and 24 seconds left here in the second quarter, and Carl Albert leads 7-0. But this time, this is the first honest drive that Del City's put together. They have actually come from their half-yard line. This is the 11th play of the drive. And so they've moved the ball 65 yards down the field to this point, and some with some beautiful passing, others with just beautiful running. And so here we are, 1st and 10. The ball is at the 35-yard line.
This is the drive territory. This is the kind of drive that just doesn't change a quarter or change a possession. This changes the game.
Yeah, it can.
It really
change
does.
The game.
I mean, a 99.5-yard drive can do that to you.
So here we go. Jacoby Smith's in at quarterback. He's going to pass the ball out here in the flat to number 14. He takes the ball there about the 27-yard line. I believe they're going to possibly have a little extracurricular activity there on the sidelines.
Jaquio Mitchell on the reception.
It was Kobe Cruz there with the tackle out of bounds. The ball is going to be placed there at the 27-yard line, and then we're going to see what the man in white has to say as well. It's going to be dead ball, personal foul against the Titans, and that looked like a little bit of extracurricular out of bounds there, and so that's going to move the ball from the 27, looks like all the way down to about the 17, 18-yard line, in between the 17 and 18-yard line.
We said it prior to the game, you just cannot have penalties. Penalties like that are totally inexcusable. You just have to keep your head and just keep moving forward. I think we're having a problem with the chains on the far sideline.
Actually, I think we're having a problem with the spot. I wondered about that when it came out because, yeah, it should have been, there we go, that's better. It should have been about the 13 to 14-yard line,
yeah.
And I kept waiting, and so the chain man on the other side knew what he was talking about,
yeah.
And he held his ground and said, no, that's not where it started. So now Del City is actually in there at the 13-yard line in Titan territory, and this is their longest strike of the night. Jacoby Smith's going to move out to the right. They're going to keep him in the box this time, and they're going to catch him up. He's going to have a loss of 2 back to the 16, and that's what I'm saying. When you break down, stay in that formation. Don't let him out. Don't give him a place to run.
Yeah, but even then, he was dead to rights about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He still picked up 4.
Yeah.
I mean, he is slippery back there.
So they move the ball there back to the 16-yard line, brings up 2nd down and 12 from the 16-yard line. 1 man to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. You've got L.J. Brown there in the backfield. And it looks like they are using a okay, I'll go ahead and say it. I was a little bit I was a little bit I don't know, resident about saying this, but that is a Carl Albert play that is getting used against Carl Albert. Mike Dunn coming from Carl Albert, and he's got several Carl Albert players on the sidelines as assistant coaches, and it works both ways. That's all I can say.
Yep, absolutely.
5-yard pickup. The ball is down at the 11-yard line. Jacoby Smith in. Brown in the backfield. Handoff to Brown right up the middle. He's just dragging those feet and dragging players. So he's going to move the ball up to about the 8, in between the 8 and the 9-yard line.
L.J. Brown with the carry. Brought down at approximately the 8, where it brings up 3rd down to the Eagles.
3rd down and about 4 to go. They can pick up a 1st down because they're at the 8-yard line. So to pick up the 1st down, they need to get inside the 4. Jacoby Smith in at quarterback. L.J. Brown the backfield. 2 men to the bottom, 1 man to the top. Got the H back in again this time. Usually works out as a blocker, and that's exactly right. Jacoby Smith gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. He's going to push forward for maybe a yard down to the 7-yard line. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 3 for the Eagles. And I don't believe there's going to be any field goal unit come in here.
Absolutely not.
I think they're going to go ahead and go for it.
That's just a good way to shoot yourself in the foot after you come from your own half-yard line. And you send the kicker out there inside the 10. You let these big boys finish this drive off.
So 4th down and about 3 to go for the 1st down. 7 to go for the touchdown. 2 men to the bottom of your screen. We've got the H-back in there on the right side. That's going to be a handoff there. Kobe Brown's going to keep it right up the middle. He's got the 1st down to the 1-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal at the 1 for the Eagles. And they're going to move this ball quickly, I bet. I don't think this is kind of like the Trojan horse. You know it's coming. You just don't know which one's going to be carrying it.
Absolutely.
This time it's going to be Smith. He's just going to walk in behind L.J. Brown for the touchdown. And that is a 99.5-yard drive. And that took up almost 10 minutes on the clock. 1 minute and 44 seconds left in the half.
That's impressive.
And now we have the opportunity for Del City to even this score with the point after try. Jacoby Smith is also the holder, which means you've got to really pay attention here. Jacoby Smith, the ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And that means that was Stanley Johnson with the point after try, and that brings the score Carl Albert 7 and Del City Eagles 7. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Since 1908, Cameron University has served students from all over the world. With nearly 50 degrees in 2-year, 4-year, and graduate programs, we have something to inspire you. Health and wellness facilities plus a wide variety of clubs and activities will help you find your perfect fit. Small class sizes allow you to be yourself while discovering your future potential as part of the Aggie family. Come experience the Axe. Enroll today at www.cameron.edu.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network with 1 minute and 44 seconds left. And the Del City Eagles have tied it up 7-7 on a 17-play, 99.5-yard drive right out of their own end zone and took it down the field. It was a good mix of plays. This is Stanley Johnson there with the kick. It's just a short pooch kick. And we've got a lot of whistles and a lot of flags. So we're going to see. It looks like there was a offsides there by the Eagles, which will move the ball back to the 35 and re-kick that ball. It looked like that might have been Ezra Gustafson that was going to receive that ball there for the Titans. And
he's dangerous.
And he did. He can actually run if he, just you give him a little motivation. I think he can do it. So the ball's going to be placed at the 35-yard line where Stanley Johnson will kick off. Deep for the Titans is number 9, Lamarion Curry. So here we go again. Actually, they took a couple of seconds off the clock. It should be 1:44, but we're going to just
That's
keep
still
that.
plenty of time for the Titans to score.
Got 2 timeouts, so there's a good possibility. The kick is up, and it is going to be a long kick this time. Curry's going to take the ball there at his own 11-yard line. He's up across the 20 to the 25, out to about the 28, and that's where he's down.
Nobody blocked. Nobody. There's 4 Eagles down there before he even fielded the kick. Got to do better on special teams.
So here we are. The Titans take over with 1 minute and 34 seconds left here in the second quarter before the half.
Just run your offense. There's no pressure here.
No.
Obviously, those guys up front are going to be a little tired. They were slugging it out for 99.5 yards, coming in and out on that defensive front. They've got to turn around and move the ball on their own.
So here we go. We've got 2 men to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom of your screen. Javion Hunt is backing up Harris in the backfield. Wisdom Combs looks around and checks the line of scrimmage. He snaps it back there, and Harris throws across the middle. It's intercepted. He's actually tackled by his own man. Intercepted there by number 1. That is Canagil Thomas for the Eagles.
And number 6, Donovan Stevens on the tackle.
The Eagles have the ball on that interception at the Titan 42-yard line. 1 minute and 28 seconds. They have 1 timeout.
Yeah, Ben Harris took a hit as he was throwing. He tried to step into it, but too much pressure in his face. Threw the pick, and I guess Donovan Stevens, who ended up tackling his own teammate there, he looked a little confused there. He thought that was a Titan on the ground, and thank goodness. Because that was going to be a long return for the Eagles.
All right, so we're here. Jacoby Smith, L.J. Brown in the backfield, 2 men at the top, 2 men at the bottom. 1 minute and 28 seconds. He's going to drop back to pass. He's going to move out here to his left side. He's dangerous. He's got room. He's across the he actually just didn't pick up anything, to be quite honest.
Yep.
He's going to be second down. Might have picked up 1 yard as he ran out, as he hopped out of bounds there at about the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Montreal Brick got a good angle on him and forced him out.
So second down and 9, 1 minute and 21 seconds left.
Just got to hold on here if you're the Titans. I mean, this defense has been on the field a lot this quarter. They're tired. They're gassed. Got a minute and 21 to get back into the locker room, get rehydrated.
Smith takes the ball. He throws it out here to the outside. Number 14 catches it again. That ball was being fumbled all the way out of bounds, and so that is not a catch. And so that's going to bring up third down for the Eagles.
Jakeem Mitchell was the intended target there. Great job by the Titans on the coverage, just making a hit and trying to separate the receiver from the ball once again.
Ball is still at the 41-yard line where it brings up third down and 9. 1 minute and 17 seconds left here in the half. So they've gone to the air right here at the beginning. And
that Del City sideline's getting awfully loud. They're really hype on this drive.
Jacoby Smith takes the snap. He's dropping back to pass. Screen. He's got pressure. Screen over the middle. Great job there by number 72, Corey O'Hagan. He could not get to him, but he got his hands up, and that made the difference in the play. And that ball dropped into the turf. Fourth down and 9 from the 41.
And that was Sherrod Davis. He was the intended receiver on the screen there, and he had plenty of room to run. So great job by Corey O'Hagan getting his hands up and knocking that ball from harm's way.
Del City's having a little problem getting their players on the field for this fourth down. Jacoby Smith is going to be dropping back and doing the punting. And so, yeah, he looks up and he puts one high in the air, and that ball's going to land around the 12-yard line, and it's going to have a Carl Albert bounce back all the way to the 17. And so the Carl Albert Titans are going to take over with 1 minute and 2 seconds left. And so they kind of averted a disaster there with that interception. 1 minute and 2 seconds left, and Carl Albert is going to have the ball at the 17-yard line.
62 seconds, 2 timeouts remaining. You know, I think you try to get to the 50, and if you get to the 50, then you start going. But until then, you kind of plot it out and pick your spots.
Good things can happen. You just have to make sure that you take care of the ball in this situation. You're deep in your own territory, and you don't want to give them any momentum going into the half. Here we go with the Trojan, Javion Hunt in the backfield. He's just going to take the ball and push it up the middle.
He lost it.
I think it just bounced around. I think.
Wildcat quarterback Keith.
So there we go. It's going to be a 1-yard pickup to the 18-yard line. Brings up second down and 9 for the Titans, and we're just going to let that clock run. I think Coach Corley is happy to go to the half tied on somebody else's field, and knowing that we've got some adjustments to make, and we need to take care of business at halftime and do the work that we need to do coming out in the second half. Again, Harris is split out to the left side. Javion Hunt's in the backfield. And he's going to take that ball and go right up the middle again. And he's going to push up there for about another yard, maybe a yard and a half. And that's going to move the time down to the 13-second mark, and that probably will be the last play of this half. The ball is at the 21-yard line. And 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's your half, where the Carl Albert Titans and the Del City Eagles are tied up 7-7. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Fallout Sports is your leader in team sports, specializing in outfitting the entire team with screen printing, embroidery, team sports uniforms using dye sublimation from start to finish. They are truly your one-stop shop. With over 13 years of experience, you can trust the job will be done right with all work done in-house. Fallout Sports, 534 North Penn, phone 405-701-5933.
Did you get that new F-150?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Greg Darnell Ford.
How was it?
Darn good!
We've got darn good deals with 0% interest for 72 months on most 2020 models. F-150s as low as $459 a month. Escapes as low as $349 a month. Fusions as low as $319 a month.
There's a new sheriff in town, and I'm laying down the law on low prices.
Hudiburn, the dealership Oklahomans can count on.
Why can you count on them? Because they give their customers more.
Oklahoma is growing, and Hudiburn is growing too, with 5 different brands and thousands of new and used vehicles.
Hudiburn, 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 Hudiburn! Wow! It's been 60 years and Hudiburn is still here.
You can count on Hudiburn. We'll give you more.
Hudiburn.com.
You can count on Hudiburn, we'll give you more.
MM7 Sports Cards is your trading card and sports memorabilia store. Located just off I-35 and more, we carry a large variety of sports cards, old and new. We also have unique memorabilia for your office or your man cave. So come see us today. We are always buying, trading, talking, all things sports. MM7 Sports Cards, 2308 North Broadway, or check us out online at mm7sportscards.com.
Back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where it's halftime, and we're going to go over some of the things that we have seen and what we believe can play out for the second half, because that's what we do here. A scoring recap is by Fallout Sports, Oklahoma's only in-house full customizable team uniform supplier. Sublimation is our specialty. Call 405-701-5933. Well, the Carl Albert Titans came out in their first drive and went 9 plays and 81 yards, capped off by a 20-yard touchdown pass from Harris to Haynes, and took the score 7-0. And then it just became kind of a struggle. So it was Del City, 3 plays and punt. Carl Albert, 3 plays and punt. Del City, 2 plays and fumble. Carl Albert, 3 plays and punt. And then Ben Harris stuck the ball back on the half-yard line for the Eagles, and they took the ball from the half-yard line, 99.5 yards, 17 plays, taking up a little over 9.5 minutes to tie up this ball game at 7-7. Carl Albert then comes back, and on the first play from scrimmage after that touchdown, we throw the interception, and Del City takes the ball, 3 plays, no yards, punt. Carl Albert with 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the half takes the ball to the 17-yard line and just runs out the clock. So what do you think, Braden? Where are we at this point, looking at what we can go for in the future?
You know, I know it's a tall ask, but you've got to put a stop to Jacoby Smith. He's done enough damage so far in this game. You got to make it the L.J. Brown show, because the L.J. Brown show you can stop.
Right.
But to get that show started, you got to put it into the Jacoby Smith show. And, from what I'm seeing so far, that's just not going to happen. It's a really, really tall ask of this Carl Albert Titan defense. And, maybe we'll see. We'll see with these adjustments what's going to happen here in the second half. But so far, like you said, he's breaking contain. He's able to extend the pocket and either throw on the run, set his feet, because he creates so much separation between him and the front seven. Or, he just tucks it and runs and gets a huge chunk of yards. So I think that's the main thing. Nothing else is really too concerning out of this team. Obviously, the interception by Ben Harris late really just was a momentum killer. Just allowing Del City to have time of possession for what seems like 11 of the 12 minutes in the second quarter. So, that they'll fix it here in the second half. But I really think the main thing is to try to get the ball out of Jacoby Smith's hands as quickly as possible.
One of the things that I noticed there after the interception, and we had talked about as the key of the game is keeping Smith in the box. You got to keep Jacoby Smith in a box. There was a timeout called, and I think it was a beautiful timeout by Coach Corley to call that timeout, get the defenders over there. And one of the things that we saw immediately then was when Jacoby went to the right and he moved over there were 4 Carl Albert Titans that were broken down waiting to take him. And I think, obviously it doesn't take any kind of mastermind to figure out that, all week we've been watching film of Jacoby Smith. That's not we knew what we had to play against, and we knew that we had to keep him contained. And yet you come out here, you have a 9-play drive, you score a touchdown, and all of a sudden sometimes, especially in high school minds, you think, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
And you forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that, vision leaks, and it leaked. They forgot. They forgot what they had been working on all week long, and so now I think what you have is you're going to have some defensive coaches that are going to get in the face of some defensive players and say, listen, we've worked on this all week long. You cannot let this happen. You see what happens when that does. And really that has been their success, is that he's got a great arm, but he's not a pocket passer. He's a guy that's going to make stuff happen and then throw at the last minute when things are opened up. So
yeah, he's like a Lamar Jackson type.
Right.
He gets outside of the pocket, and that's really when the play begins. But, you mentioned the defensive adjustments. I think you just got to slant right. You got to slant down, get on that right side, the defensive left side, and just get after him. Force him. You kind of take the game to him. You get him outside of the pocket, get him into his comfort zone as soon as possible, and then he kind of forgets about the pass rush, and then, boom, you're on top of him. But you just have to keep that contained, and I think you can do that if you slant down.
Well, we're going to see what the coaches have here for the second half. I know that we made some great adjustments last week. We've got some adjustments that we need to make this week. And we're going to see, we were down at half last week and came back to take over that game. And so let's see what we can do for this second half. I believe that the Titans have what it takes to make that happen.
Yeah.
So these were your halftime thoughts and halftime adjustments, and that all comes to you as a scoring recap from Fallout Sports, Oklahoma's only in-house full customizable team uniform supplier. Sublimation is our specialty. 405-701-5933.
And I think one more thing just to add on to that is you got to cut the stupid penalties. There's been a few that have just been simply dumb, and you got to cut that down. Actually, you just got to cut it out completely. There's no reason to have those penalties. So I think that's definitely going to be something addressed at halftime with some strong words and some non-smiling faces.
That's right. Well, we'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, Eskridge Honda, where they go the Eskridge mile for their customers. It's also where you can get a 2020 Honda Civic Sports Sedan CVT for just $179 a month. Visit EskridgeHonda.com. We're going to be right back with you, and we're going to take a tour around the state, and we'll let Braden Conover share with you what's going on in other high school games around the state of Oklahoma. We'll be back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Can't wait to see this place.
All right, I got this app.
Would you like to tour the house?
Yes?
Please.
Would you like to tour the house?
We're here, dude. House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home.
Available now.
Welcome back to Carl Albert Titan football here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's a 7-7 ball game here at the half against Del City on the road. And you'll join me here on the bus. We're going to take a trip around the state. Number 3, Bishop McGuinness at number 2, Bishop Kelly. Bishop McGuinness leads that one 14-7 with a minute left in the second quarter. Guyman travels to Elk City, and Elk City jumped out early on this one. 48-7, the Elks lead over Guyman. Woodward travels to Bethany tonight, and that game's actually a close one. 14-13, Bethany leads at the half. Weatherford hosting El Reno tonight, and Weatherford is up 20-0 at the half. U.S. Grant travels to Capitol Hill, and Grant is up 24-6 with 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Coweta travels across state lines to Kansas to go play Frontenac, and Coweta's on top 19-13 with a minute left in the second. Tahlequah at Wagner. Tahlequah is up 3-0 at the half. And Claremore travels to Oologah, and Oologah leads 14-7. That game is also at halftime. Collinsville at Skiatook. Collinsville leads that one 28-7 at the half. And Piedmont, a little bit of an upset here, travels to Putnam City North, and Putnam City is up 19-0. That game is at halftime. Bartlesville at Sapulpa. Sapulpa leads that one 21-7 with 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Guthrie playing host to Duncan. Duncan down 14-0. Guthrie leads that one. That game is also at halftime. Pryor playing host to Gravate, and Gravate is down 37-14 with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. A game tonight that you can also find on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Lawton MacArthur at Lawton Original, and Lawton Original leads that one 27-0 with 11 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Tulsa Edison at Tulsa Memorial. Tulsa Edison is up 27-0. That game's in the second quarter. Let's see. We're going to go in a game that concluded last night. Lawton Ike playing host to Altus. Lawton Ike jumped out early and often in this one. 52-0 the final score last night. We're going to jump to 6A2, where we have Stillwater up at Mustang. Mustang trails the Pioneers 42-7 at half. Ponca City at Tulsa McLean, and Ponca City leads that one 17-8. Van Buren at Choctaw. Choctaw up 8-0. That game's in the second quarter. Yukon at Deer Creek. Yukon leads that one 41-3. And then, of course, you got the game here. Carl Albert at Del City. 7-7 tie here at halftime. Let's jump down to 4A real quick. Give you a couple of those games, where Chakotah is at Hilldale tonight. Hilldale leads that one 14-0. And then the Tuttle Tigers, led by my cousin Alex Conover, as a sophomore quarterback. Tuttle leads that one 14-7 at Newcastle. A little bit of a crosstown rivalry, much like this game tonight. Jay down to Grove. Jay travels to Grove, and Grove leads that one 27-0 at halftime. Vian travels to John Marshall, and that game's actually almost in the third quarter. It is in the third quarter, and Vian leads that one 24-22. Blanchard travels to Elgin, another game you can find on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Blanchard is up 34-7 against Elgin. Plainview at Cache. Cache leads that one 12-0 in the second quarter. And that is going to do it for your travel around, or your walk around the state. And so, Kirk, if you want to hop in here real quick, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Just those keys, you got to cut down on the penalties. You have to keep Jacoby Smith in that proverbial box. I mean, there's really no containing him. It's just trying to get more hats around him than anybody else on the field. But, you know, as we sit here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds before the teams come back out to stretch out for the second half, just, you know, what's one thing you want to see on that opening drive?
Oh, I'd like to see a 3 and out here, you know, for the Eagles on this opening drive, and you know, if there's anything that I really want to see on this opening drive is I want to see Jacoby Smith have to play ball from behind the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's the key to this game right now for the Del City Eagles is what Jacoby can do with his feet and with his elusiveness. And so he has created things that aren't in the playbook. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's the gift. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you love about a kid like that.
Absolutely.
But what I'd like to see then is I'd like to see a 3 and out, and I'd like to see Carl Albert get back to what they started out with, and that was just some solid ball control, move the ball, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I'm happy with that.
You think we're going to see a little bit more blitzing on that defensive side?
I don't know. I mean, there's always a risk on a blitz. You know that.
Yep.
And especially at this level of the game is all of a sudden you start taking people out of that secondary, and there's nobody back there when he breaks through that front line. So I'd be a little wary of that. I think we might play it a little tighter than that. So I see our coaches coming back out on the field, and I see our players getting ready to come out of the locker room. And what I see in regard to you can tell a lot by the way a man walks, and so I'm watching Coach Borum come out of the locker room and head over there to the sidelines, and I think he I think he I think he might have eaten a little bit at halftime himself, and so I think there's and it's not that you go in at halftime and just chew people out, but this is stuff we've worked on. This is stuff we knew was coming.
Yep.
Del City hasn't done anything out of the norm from what we know that they do. And so when you have a 99.5-yard drive against you, as a coach, I know especially it has a tendency to grind your gears just a little bit. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, I believe that Carl Albert has what it takes to come back and take care of business, and we're going to get an opportunity to see that in about 4 more minutes. So we'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Moving in. All right, everybody get in real quick.
You just hold it like this, and you don't need a flash.
Learning with VR. Finals, baby! You know I got this!
I got an A! Nailed it!
We did it! Rose State College. Going somewhere starts here.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
Since 1908, Cameron University
When'd you get that new F-150?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Greg Darnell Ford.
How was it?
Darn good!
We've got darn good deals with 0% interest for 72 months on most 2020 models. F-150s as low as $459 a month. Escapes as low as $349 a month. Fusions as low as $319 a month.
There's a new sheriff in town, and I'm laying down the law on low prices.
Fallout Sports is your leader in team sports, specializing in outfitting the entire team with screen printing, embroidery, team sports uniforms using dye sublimation from start to finish. They are truly your one-stop shop. With over 13 years of experience, you can trust the job will be done right, with all work done in-house. Fallout Sports, 534 North Penn, phone 405-701-5933.
Kirk Norman and Braden Conover here with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where tonight we're getting ready to start the second half of a tie ball game. Carl Albert 7, Del City 7. And our kickoff is sponsored by Remax Cobblestone. There's no place like home, and who else better to help you find it than Remax Cobblestone. So the Eagles won the toss at the beginning of the game, and they deferred, so they're going to be receiving the ball for this second half. And our third quarter sponsor is Nikki Hubbs of Prestige Real Estate. Nikki is your key to home buying or selling. Call Nikki Hubbs. So, Braden, here we are. We know what we have to do. And as Coach Cameron Couch told me last week, he said, all you have to do is win by one.
Yep.
Well, we don't have a one-point play right now, but I'd win by 2. I'd win by 3. I'd win by anything at this point.
Absolutely. You know, just to get out of here with a win's gonna say something. I mean, Del City, you know, it was a fluke last week. You know, Booker T just kind of got lucky with their. I wouldn't say lucky, but it was definitely a week one battle is what it was. And Del City's kind of got their feet under them now, and they're going to be a powerhouse for a little bit here in 6A2.
Jacob Eddy is the kicker for the Carl Albert Titans, and Jakeo Mitchell is back deep for the Eagles. That ball is going to go into the end zone for the touchback, and Carl Albert will be on defense. Del City on offense at the 20-yard line. 11 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter, and Del City has the ball at their own 20-yard line.
Those touchbacks are so important.
They are. They are.
I mean, a lot of people just do not understand how important a touchback is in the high school game, even in the college game. You know, at any level of football, if you can get that ball out of the fastest guy on the field's hands, you know, good things are going to happen.
That's right.
So,
one man at the top of your screen, 2 men at the bottom. You've got the man we've been talking about, Jacoby Smith, and L.J. Brown in the backfield. Jacoby is going to take the snap, and he's just going to play it right up the middle. He's got a big hole, and he's caught there. It looked like maybe Keon Dickerson.
Quarterback keeper, gain of 6, brings up 2nd and 4.
Zangari was in on that play.
Caleb Zangari was in there as well. And so pickup of 6, and that takes the ball out to the 26-yard line, 2nd down and 4 for the Eagles. So you know what's coming. You just got to be able to take care of it, and you've got to be able to cover everybody else, and that's where the chess match comes in. This time it's a handoff to Hunt. Hunt's right up the middle, and he's got room. He's across the 30, out to about the 33, 34-yard line.
L.J. Brown on the carry.
I did. I said Hunt instead of Brown. You are absolutely right. L.J. Brown on the carry. That ball is going to be placed there at the 33-yard line where it's a first down.
And you'll notice Carl Albert playing 2 semi-high safeties. You got Ezra Gustafson on the near side. You know, that's to help just in case that play breaks down. They're going to play the run, but they're there to clean up what the linebackers can't.
L.J. Brown with the carry, his handoff, and he crosses the 35, across the 40, and about the midfield, and he gets drugged down. Well, he actually gets hit there and stopped at about the 45. that was Kobe Cruz that finally made the final stop. And that moves the ball from the 33 in Eagle territory down to the 43 in Titan territory, and a first down again for the Eagles. 2 first downs on 2 plays.
We've got an official's timeout because one official has to tie his shoe.
There you go. It's a very good call there, Braden.
I'm very attentive tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And, you know, just as I said something about Ezra Gustafson, he kind of overran his lane, and which allowed L.J. Brown to cut back towards the middle and get that big gain.
2 men at the top of your screen, 1 man at the bottom. You've got the H-back in there on the left side. Usually he's going to run that way. And that's a new back, number 16, that is in there.
Virgil Yates.
Virgil Yates in there with the run. He's kind of a scrappy runner, a little bit taller. And he picks up a first down going from the 43-yard line down to the 33-yard line. And the Eagles pick up 3 first downs on 3 runs. Virgil Yates and he takes the ball again right up the middle, and he just runs with reckless abandon right through. And that's just taking the ball and putting a hole in there. You've got the nose guard getting blocked out on this play.
Yep.
So that goes all the way down to the 25-yard line, brings up 2nd and 7. 2nd and 3, 7 yards picked up, 2nd and 3. Yates again, he's going to get hit right at the line of scrimmage this time, and
about a yard short.
He's still going to pick up a yard and still be 2 yards short.
Number 16, Virgil Yates.
So right down to inside the 25, so we have to say the 24, and they're trying to make it to just outside the 23.
Yates comes out, Brown's back in.
Brown's back in, 2 men to the bottom, 1 man to the top, and they're just handing it off and letting them dig up the middle.
And this is that size advantage. Del City has a much larger line than Carl Albert does, and it's something that Midwest City could not take advantage of last week.
Jacoby Smith with the snap. He hands off to Brown. Brown's across the middle, across the 20, 15, 10, and he's going to cut back and into the touchdown for the Eagles. That was a 24-yard scamper, and he was untouched for almost all of it.
Kobe Cruz and Montrell Britt got about a combined 4 fingers on him down inside the 3, and he broke their arm tackles to get in.
So a 24-yard touchdown strike there from L.J. Brown. And that moves the Eagles up 13-7. And with the point after try, that's 14-7. So Del City goes on top on their first drive of the second half. That was a 7-play, 80-yard drive, and that went from 11:55 down to 9:05. And so 2 minutes and 50 seconds. They made good time there.
So much for your 3-and-out that you wanted.
Yeah, well, you can always hope.
Beggars can't be choosers.
That's true.
It's all right.
We'll be right back with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Hudiburn, the dealership Oklahomans can count on.
Why can you count on them?
Because they give their customers more. Oklahoma is growing, and Hudiburn is growing too, with 5 different brands and thousands of new and used vehicles.
Hudiburn, 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 Hudiburn! Wow! It's been 60 years and Hudiburn is still here.
You can count on Hudiburn. We'll give you more.
Hudiburn.com.
You can count on Hudiburn. We'll give you more.
Kirk Norman and Braden Conover here with you on the call from the Oklahoma Sports Network, where the Del City Eagles have taken the kickoff of the second half and taken it down the field 80 yards in 7 plays. And there was nothing special about that, Braden. That was handoff, and right up the middle.
Yeah, and you mentioned it during the commercial break that wasn't Jacoby at all.
No.
But, I countered by saying, it is a little bit Jacoby Smith because they're respecting him on the outside, kind of crashing those edges and setting an edge to allow room up the middle.
Stanley Johnson is the kicker for Del City. And back deep is Lamarian Curry for the Titans. And Lamarian's going to get an opportunity to take this from about the 8-yard line. He's across the 15 to the 20 to 25. He's got a little open running room, and then he runs into a wall there. That was number 9, Davion Mooks, for the Del City Eagles. But he makes a nice run back from the 8-yard line up to the 30-yard line, where the Carl Albert Titans will take over 1st and 10 with 8 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter.
That was a good hard hit.
Our third quarter sponsor is Nikki Hubbs of Prestige Real Estate. Nikki is your key to home buying and selling. So here we are. This will be the first offensive drive.
Go answer.
For the Titans. And Ben Harris is in the backfield. Javion Hunt is backing him up. Ben's going to take it out the outside. He's going to go ahead and cut it in just a little bit. He's going to pick up from the 30 up to about the 32.5-yard line.
It was a great job by Sherrod Davis taking away the pitch, man. Obviously, Ben Harris, not quite the running threat that his fellow quarterback, Jacoby Smith is. But, he is known to run a little bit. But great job by Sherrod Davis taking away the pitch man there.
Ben Harris in the backfield. Javion Hunt backing him up. And we've got flags. I didn't see anything, but,
that's why you're not a zebra.
That may be true. And they're going to say it's motion. False start on the Titans, so that's going to move them back from about the 32 and a half. I want that. It's going to move them back to about the 27-yard line. It's going to bring up second down to about 14 with that penalty. And penalties have not been our friend this evening.
Absolutely not. Drive killers.
Yeah, and even the small penalties make a big difference. So here we go. 2 men to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. Got Javion Hunt in the backfield. Backing up Ben Harris. He takes the snap. He fakes it to Hunt.
It's there.
Going to go across the middle. Got a man wide open. That's Lamarian Curry all the way down inside the 40. Is tackled there at the 36-yard line. Beautiful pass and catch.
Get some tempo. Let's go. Let's move those legs.
They're going to put that ball at the 37. I don't think that was a great spot, but they're in Eagle territory at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Carl Albert. Just a nice pitch and catch right down the middle. Lamarian ran a nice route right there just simply because he just stayed true and waited for that ball to come over the top. We've got the pass out in the flat to Lamarian Curry again. He's inside the 30 right there, and he's hit hard out of bounds.
We got a
flag. And we're going to get a flag coming in because that was definitely a little bit of extracurricular activity on the sidelines there. So the ball is going to be placed out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Looks like they're going to get Jason Smith for a late hit.
Oh, no. I don't know who they called that on. I would really be curious as to who they called that on.
The only person down there would have been Lamarian.
Well, he may have gotten up and said some things that he shouldn't have said, and
words hurt.
And that definitely will come back then. So that ball was down at the 30. 15-yard penalty moves the ball back to the 45, and now we're talking exactly what we were talking about a while ago. You cannot lose your composure in a game like this and expect to come out on top. And so 1st down and 20 now. 1st down and 20, or 2nd down and 20 for the Titans. Javion Hunt in the backfield, 3 men at the top of your screen, 1 man at the bottom. Harris is going to go out. He's got the man out there on the outside.
Gavin Haynes.
That's Gavin Haynes, and he pushes up all the way down to about the 32-yard line, and that's going to bring up 3rd down at the 32, which is going to be 3rd and 6. Let's call it 3rd and 5. I'm going to be a little better than that, say 3rd and 5, because that looks like it's right in between.
All right, Eagles fans, let's get up.
Huge 3rd down here for the Titans. Got a sub package coming in.
15 seconds left on the play clock as the play is getting called in. And Wisdom Combs moves up to the ball. We've got 2 men at the bottom of your screen. Tight end on the right.
3-2.
Harris is going to take the ball, hand off to Hunt across the left side. He's just going to pound down.
Go for it.
Get inside the 30 to the 29.
Trojan horse time.
So that's 3 yards picked up, and it's going to be 4th down and about 2, a long 2 there.
Yep. Ben Harris
for the first down.
Ben Harris, Houston Russell jog off. Marion Curry jogs off. We're going to go Trojan horse here. Have to get some momentum back on your side.
All right, Eagles fans, it's 4th down. Let's get up, let's get up.
Javion Hunt is in the backfield. Kentrell Bazell is in the backfield. Caleb Zangari is out here on the left side. Hunt takes the ball. He goes straight up, and he gets hit right there at the line.
He's going to be short.
Picks up 1 yard on the play to the 28-yard line, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Titans. And the Eagles will take the ball with 6 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third quarter, and they'll have the ball at their own 28-yard line.
Penalties once again. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said that this game, but, you know, penalties are just shooting themselves in the foot, the Titans are.
Absolutely. There's just no other way about that. We're going to be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Six minutes and 5 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Eagles have the ball on their own 28-yard line, and Jacoby Smith's around the right side. He is let loose. There's a holding there on the outside, but nobody's going to call that. And Jacoby Smith is going to be pushed out of bounds there at about the 42-yard line. So from the 28 up to the 42, that's a first down for the Eagles.
That was an egregious hold missed. I mean, it was away from the players on the outside, and whoever was on the edge there almost had their jersey ripped off for Carl Albert.
2 men at the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom. H-back is to the left this time, and L.J. Brown is in the backfield. Jacoby Smith's going to hand off to L.J. Brown. No, that's number 16 again. That's Virgil Yates around the left side, and he's got some open running room across midfield down to the 40 and pushed out of bounds at the 38. There is a flag out there at about the 46-yard line, and we're going to see what that looks like.
I believe that's going to be a block in the back.
But that Virgil Yates is he's kind of an exciting runner. He's got those high knees, and he just picks it up and goes. So here's what the man in white is going to say. Going to be a holding against the Eagles, and it'll be a spot foul. So that'll move the ball from the Carl Albert 46-yard line, and we'll march that off all the way back to the 44-yard line in Del City territory. It's still first down. It's going to be bring up first down and 8 from the 44-yard line.
For Carl Albert, you have to make Del City pay for that penalty.
1 man on the top of your screen, 2 men at the bottom. H-back is to the right. The running back is to the right. Still in the game is Virgil Yates for Del City at running back. And this time Jacoby's going to keep it. He's going to come around that right side, and he's got room across midfield and down to about the 46-yard line, the 47-yard line. And that's good enough for a first down for the Eagles.
Demarion Brown on the tackle on the initial hit. And when we saw it last drive, it was just Jacoby turns around, hands it off, and seems like this one it's all Jacoby. He's got that defense like putty in his hands.
1 man to the top of your screen, 2 men to the bottom. They're pushing up on the outside. That's Yates again, and he gets hit hard. That ball comes out, and it's Carl Albert Titan. Fumble! Carl Albert's ball.
Nathan Mooney laying the boom stick. Coming up with his Mason Still. So make that one fumble recovery for Nathan Mooney and a forced fumble on 2 separate drives. He had that fumble recovery in the first half, in the first quarter, where Jacoby just simply dropped the ball. But a huge turnover. That's a momentum gainer right there.
That is.
And Carl Albert needs to score to maintain that momentum and maybe even sway it back in their favor.
That was a slobber knocker there is what they call that, Braden. That's a slobber knocker when you get hit that like
that. By God, that's Mooney's music.
He woke up into tomorrow. 1 man at the top, 2 men at the bottom is going to hand off, and he's going to hold it himself. He's going to push up.
Get down.
He makes it across the 45-yard line, gets down about the 47.
If I'm Carl Albert, I go tempo here.
That's 43 to the 47. That's a 4-yard pickup. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6. It looked like it was almost a little bit of a broken play because I think Harris thought that ball was supposed to go ahead and go to Hunt.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to zig when he zagged.
and all of a sudden he was standing there and thought, better run. So 2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. And Harris takes the snap. He's going to pull back to the right.
Leg.
He's got a man open out there on the outside. First down. That's a beautiful catch there.
Demarion Brown on the reception.
That's Demarion Brown. Great job. Pushes all the way down to the 41-yard line. And a Carl Albert first down.
Beautiful bootleg there by Ben Harris. Sets his feet before he throws. Open up those hips. Throws a bullet right on the right hash.
You know, we're getting some open space if we can just get the passes to come in right where they need to be. Harris has done a good job tonight. One was for a touchdown, hit a kid in the hands and wasn't able to take it. Harris is going to do a quick pass out to the left side, right there to Lamarion Curry, I believe. I believe that's number 9. Was it, or was it Kobe Cruz? I'm not sure. Who gets up from there?
It was Lamarion Curry.
Lamarion Curry, that's what I thought. Okay, that moves the ball from the 41 down inside the 35 to the 34. And so that's going to bring up 2nd down and 3 for the Titans there at the 34-yard line. Little bit of pace going. You talked about that. Go ahead and keep moving. 3 minutes and 42 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Gavin Haynes on your near side wide receiver.
We've got the double back set this time. So now we're going to turn and hand off to Kentrell Bazell. He's going to move around the left side, and he gets drugged down from behind.
Horse collar.
That's going to be a horse collar there at the 35-yard line, and that should go for
It was Donovan Stevens on the tackle. I was looking at it through the binos, and it looked clean. But like we saw last night in the Thursday night game, the Chiefs and the Texans, if you just get your hand up around that nameplate, they're going to call it.
Well, I think he had his hand inside that. Yeah, I think he had it inside the shoulder pads that time. And so that's going to move the ball from the 35-yard line. It's going to definitely be the first down.
Should be a 15-yarder if I'm not mistaken.
I just got a text message from a young man that he's not young anymore. He's almost as old as I am. You know, I don't get older, but all these people that I know, they just keep getting older.
You know, I consider you a young man.
Yeah, well, he said
mentally.
He said that was a heck of a hit. That's right. That was a heck of a hit down here where the fumble was played.
Yeah, Nathan
So the
Mooney.
ball is now at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 at the 20, and we're inside that red zone. Red zone, Triple Elite. Find world-class designs and hot new styles at Triple Elite. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got a man open in the deep end zone, and if he holds on.
No.
He does not.
That was Lamarion Curry once again.
That looked like he was double covered, all right.
Me.
I'll give you that.
That was Kobe Cruz.
Kobe Cruz. He was double covered. I'll give you that. 2 men draped all over him, but the ball was right there where he was the one that could catch it. Beautiful throw. Just wasn't able to complete that catch, and so the ball is still there at the 20-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
Great throw by Ben Harris. That's one where you either catch it or you try to get a PI. And got neither on that play, but that's a shot where Carl Albert should be willing to take.
3 men at the top of your screen. Hunt in the backfield right next to Harris. Ball is on the ground. Harris is going to have to keep it. He's up in the middle. He's 15, 5, and he's in for the score! Touchdown, Ben Harris! There you go, a 20-yard touchdown run on really what looked to be a broken play.
Who's the dual threat quarterback tonight?
Well,
Ben Harris put on the afterburners.
That guy just ran into the end zone and scored a touchdown with his legs, and we're excited to see that. End of the game now, Dax Swanner is the long snapper. Got Houston Ruffalo as the holder, and Jacob Eddy will be the kick for the point after try. And the kick is up. And it is good. And so the score now is Carl Albert 14 and Del City 14 with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
MM7 Sports Cards is your trading card and sports memorabilia store. Located just off I-35 and more, we carry a large variety of sports cards, old and new. We also have unique memorabilia for your office or your man cave. So come see us today. We are always buying, trading, talking, all things sports. MM7 Sports Cards, 2308 North Broadway, or check us out online at mm7sportscards.com.
Kirk Norman and Braden Conover are here with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where the Carl Albert Titans have just tied the game on a 57-yard drive, taking up 6 plays, capped off there by a Ben Harris 20-yard touchdown scamper. And here we are. Jacob Eddy is going to kick that ball, and it's deep, 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 and it's a touchback. And so
6 yards deep.
The ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the third quarter. And Del City will have the ball at the 20-yard line.
A little more life on that Carl Albert sideline, a little bit more life in this booth.
Yes, definitely. So it's good to see them take the ball and just work their offense and move down the field. So now the defense has got to come up again. I mean, that was a beautiful strike. That was a beautiful hit that was laid on there for the fumble.
Yep.
You've got to capitalize off mistakes. They did that, and so here we are. 1st and 10, ball at the 20-yard line. Jacoby Smith in the backfield. And this time
L.J. Brown?
It is L.J. Brown. He's going to move the ball from the 20 up to about the 25-yard line. So a 5-yard pickup on the play brings up 2nd and 5.
Ezra Gustafson, Caleb Zangari, I believe. We're going to call that Mason Still also. A trio of Titans on that tackle.
So L.J. Brown had taken a break on that last series of downs. And
a little bit of a change of pace.
So he's back in again. 2 men at the top, 1 man at the bottom. H back there to the left. Jacoby Smith's going to take it and throw out here in the flat. He's got number 7, and he's hit right there as he receives the ball. The ball is going to be down at the 32-yard line. That's number 7, Sherrod Davis with the catch. And I did not see, was that?
I believe that was Kobe Cruz on the coverage.
Was it Kobe or was it Kentrell that made that hit? I think you may be right.
Finally.
Jacoby Smith in at quarterback. He takes the ball. He hands it off there to Brown again. And Brown is going to get stuffed there at the line of scrimmage, maybe pick up a yard.
Kentrell Bazell made initial contact there. Keon Dickerson as well as Nathan Mooney in on that hit.
So they move the ball up to the 34-yard line. That brings up 2nd and 8. They're moving with a little bit of pace themselves, the Eagles are. 2 men at the top, 1 man at the bottom. L.J. Brown in still at running back. Jacoby Smith moves up to the line, tells him, hey, we're going to run that way, so you guys pay attention. He takes the snap. He hands off there to Brown. Brown's around the right side, and he gets met there by number 34. There is a flag in the backfield, and that usually means holding. We'll see what that means. It is a holding call on the Eagles, and so that'll move the ball back from the 35 back to the 25 and bring up a 2nd and long for the Del City Eagles.
Apparently it was so egregious that the white hat didn't even have to verify it with anybody.
No, he just said, this is it, and we're going to walk it. I don't want to talk to anybody about this. I saw it. Saw it with my own eyes.
Yep.
Ball is moved back to the 25-yard line on the penalty. And so that's going to bring up 2nd down and about 17 for the Eagles. 2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. Brown in the backfield. Jacoby Smith looks to pass. He's going to throw it out here. He's got a man wide open, number 7, but he way overthrew. That was there by Kobe Cruz was on there, and number 34.
Ezra
Gustafson was in there on the defense of that pass play.
And Sherrod Davis, the intended receiver. Kobe, he did the smart thing, play the receiver. But, man, if he would have just kept his eyes on that ball, he probably would have had to play on that sideline.
3rd down and 17. This is a critical down. You can't let them out when you've got them down this far. 2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. Jacoby Smith takes the snap. He's going to drop back to pass. He's looking. They're holding him in. Stay in. He's back to the 15. He's going to throw now, and he's got a man open, but he underthrew it, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 17. No flags on the field. I know that I get too excited sometimes, but, when you're – obviously, it's just like you watching from home. You're thinking, no, don't let him out. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. You had him in the corner. And
Lamarian Curry, he was trying to both keep contained just in case he broke out and let his wide receiver get behind him. And luckily, Smith couldn't get the ball there in time, but that could have been 6 for the Eagles for as much as that play was broken. You got Virgil Yates on the near side. He's going to be the gunner.
Remember, you have Jacoby Smith that is also the punter. And so you just always have to be careful. So Jacoby's going to punt the ball. He gets the ball away. The ball lands about the 45-yard line. It's picked up there by Lamarian Curry, and he's going to move around the outside. He's across the 50, the 45, 40, 35, and he bounces over. He's going to end up down about the 27-yard line is what it looks like, maybe even the 26. Beautiful run back there by Lamarian Curry.
What's even better, no laundry on the field.
No laundry on the field. 41 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Carl Albert has the ball in Del City territory at the 26-yard line. That was a great defensive stand by the Carl Albert Titans, and now it's time to put some more points on the board.
I was about to say, you can feel in the air, old Mo's back in town. Carl Albert has a chance to blow this thing open. Even though it's going to be a one-possession game if they score, it feels like it's going to be blown wide open just the way these defenses are feeling each other out.
1 man to the bottom of your screen, 1 man to the top. The man in motion is Kobe Cruz from left to right. Going to hand off to Javion Hunt across the left side. He's got some running room. He gets across the 25 down to about the 23-yard line, maybe even the 22 is where they're going to place the ball. So that's a 4-yard pickup, brings up 2nd down and 6. It was a nice play there because with Cruz moving, you had to draw people across.
Yep.
Got Houston Russell split out to the top of your screen. Kobe Cruz split out to the bottom. Javion Hunt's in the backfield with Harris.
Snap of 5
seconds. This time you've got
seconds.
Russell moving across. Hunt takes the ball again to the right side. He gets nothing on that one.
And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter.
So that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter where the Carl Albert Titans and the Del City Eagles are tied 14-14. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
can't wait to see this place.
All right, I got this app.
Would you like to tour the house?
Yes?
Please.
Would you like to tour the house?
We're here, dude. House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home.
Available now.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where the Carl Albert Titans are at 3rd down and 6 in the Eagle territory at the 22-yard line. We've got the double back set with Bazell and Hunt in the backfield. One man split to the top. Harris is going to take the snap. He's going to hold up. He's going to pass. Oh, definitely. Javion Hunt got held on that player. He would have been wide open at the 10-yard line, and that's exactly where Harris threw the ball. And so there is going to be a pass interference here, and that'll move the ball, pass interference on Del City.
I believe that was Sherrod Davis trying to, that
that
holding penalty is a lot better than a touchdown.
He just grabbed hold of his shirt. That's right. And so that's going to move the ball from the 22 down to about the 12, and they're actually putting it at the 11-yard line. A nice spot there for the Titans. And we are in the red zone. Triple Elite, find world-class design and hot new styles at Triple Elite in the red zone for the Titans. Double back set. We've got Gavin Haynes at the top. Going to be a handoff to Hunt. He's down inside. That's not. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is Javion Hunt.
Javion Hunt. He's down inside. He busted across the 7-yard line and took the first hit there. Got in down to the 3-yard line. And we still have 1 yard, actually 2 yards, for a first down.
Just go ahead and punch it in.
First down markers at the 1. Second down and 2. Let's just call it second and goal. Javion Hunt's in the backfield, takes the direct snap. He busts across the middle. He gets down to about the 1-yard line this
Ball's
time.
Out.
And that's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say the ball was out, and Del City recovers at the 1-yard line. So that fumble stops a Carl Albert drive that was going to be going in for a go-ahead score. And that ball is placed at the 1-yard line. Del City takes over with 11 minutes and 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And they're back at the 1-yard line again, Braden. How ironic could that be?
Yeah, that's a killer. That's a killer. That one stings, and I'm sure we're going to see Javion be doing some push-ups over there. But, yeah, if you're the defense, it's deja vu, but you got an opportunity to change the course here.
Let's change the outcome. So Del City takes over after the fumble by Hunt down at the 1-yard line. So they're backed up in their own end zone.
L.J. Brown in the backfield alongside Jacoby Smith.
2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. H-back to the right. Jacoby Smith's going to run to the right. He's got room across the 5. He's hit there and is down about the 7-yard line.
Nathan Mooney with the tackle.
Nathan Mooney just covers him up there about the 7-yard line.
We've been calling his name a lot tonight.
Yes, we have. So the ball's at the 7-yard line. 2nd down and 4 now for the Eagles. And you know it's going to be a healthy dose of nothing but L.J. Brown and Jacoby Smith backed up this deep in their own territory.
Yeah, 10:40 left here in the fourth.
Jacoby Smith hands off to L.J. Brown. L.J. Brown is tackled right there at the 10-yard line. And so it'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 10-yard line.
Keon Dickerson on the tackle there.
Del City is lined up. Carl Albert just got their orders here. Jacoby's going to look back over at the bench. They're going to change the play.
They're going to change it from a read option to a read option.
Got 2 men to the top, 1 man to the bottom. At the 10-yard line, it's 3rd down and 1. This is where you need somebody to step up and get through. Jacoby Smith's going to take the ball around the left side. Oh, he gets a hand on him out there, but he gets across the 15 out to about the 18-yard line, and he's going to be down there. We had a hand on him back there at the 10, but we could not hold on.
Demarion Brown just took a shallow angle, and Smith just was able to bounce out to the outside.
He picks up 9 yards on that, brings up 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. 9 minutes and 41 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Now you've got a little more breathing room. There's a little more option here. 1 man to the top, 2 men to the bottom. Play clock is under 10 seconds. Jacoby Smith takes the snap. He's going to throw it out here to the open side, and that's just a poor throw there, way behind Jakeo Mitchell, who didn't have a chance at that. He was defended there by Lamarion Curry.
Smith's pass is incomplete. Intended for number
that brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 19-yard line.
Mitchell. 2nd down for the Eagles.
You got to treat this like it's 3rd down.
Every down you need to treat like it's a 3rd
down. Yeah, absolutely.
Jacoby Smith's in the backfield, and he's going to hand off there to Brown, and Brown's going to push across the 20-yard line, get out to about the 24-yard line. That's where they're going to place the ball there, is at the 24. So a pickup of 5, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Eagles.
Brings up 3rd and 5, 36 for the Eagles.
You know, the way Del City controlled the clock on their last 99-yard drive, this could very well decide the ball game right here, this play.
8 minutes and 55 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Jacoby Smith and L.J. Brown in the backfield. Jacoby Smith takes the ball. He hands off to Brown. Brown is hit from the backside and pushed forward, and so that's going to move him from the 24-yard line.
Carl Albert's trying to say it's their ball. And they're going to say he's down.
Yeah, they're going to say he's down. That moves him from the 24-yard line across the 25 to the 26, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 4.
But watch it.
4th down and 3 or 4. Jacoby Smith, remember, is the punter. And so, again, you have to be very careful and just play a normal defense. Lamarion Curry is going to go back deep for Carl Albert. Jacoby Smith, the ball is on the ground. Jacoby Smith gets the ball off. A nice punt. He's going to land right at the 39-yard line and take a very little bounce. And so Carl Albert is going to take over the ball at their own 37-yard line. Great stop there by Carl Albert. That's exactly what they needed. 7 minutes and 55 seconds left. And Carl Albert will have the ball at their own 37-yard line. Now it's time to drive out a drive. Here we go. Looks like the officials are going to take an official timeout, and so we'll take a timeout right along with them. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Hi, my name is Zach Knudsen. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in Oklahoma City. I'm a specialist in hip and knee preservation, in particular cartilage restoration, hip arthroscopy, minimally invasive procedures to try to salvage hips and knees and try to prevent them from going on to arthroplasty or joint replacement. Orthopedics is unique in that it is the ability to have somebody who's injured, their life has changed, and we fix them and they can go back to doing the things that they love.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network, where tonight we have Carl Albert taking on the Dell City Eagles. It's tied 14-14, 7 minutes and 55 seconds left. Our sponsor this tonight, we'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, Eskridge Honda, where they go the Eskridge mile for their customers. It's also where you can get a 2020 Honda Civic Sports Sedan CVT for just $179 a month. Visit EskridgeHonda.com. I about messed that up there because that seemed like something easy to say, but it really wasn't that easy to say. So
Zebras need some water, so
there we go.
Got a little timeout, a little breather for both sides.
1st and 10, the ball on the Carl Albert 37-yard line. 2 men at the bottom of your screen. That's Gavin Haynes in motion. And throw right across the middle. Oh, he had a man open, but he had a man in his face. And that was very fortunate that ball hit the turf.
There were 4, maybe even 5 Eagles in the vicinity of that throw off his back foot. Yeah, he had a man in his face, but sometimes you just got to take the hit and put some extra air under it, because that was probably the most dangerous throw that Ben Harris has thrown so far this season.
Javion Hunt moves off of the field. We've got Kentrell Bazell in.
Gavin Haynes, Houston Russell, Kobe Cruz at the top side of your screen in trips. Kobe Cruz in the slot.
Harris is in the empty backfield now. Harris takes the snap. He's got a man across the middle. He's got a receiver, and that's Kobe Cruz again across the 40 to the 45 up to the 47 where his helmet is ripped off.
Ben Harris begging. There's multiple Titans begging for a face mask because, Kobe Cruz's helmet clearly came off, luckily without the head in it. And
that ball is going to be placed at the 48-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a Titan first down if that is where they're going to let the ball reside.
Well, now Kobe Cruz,
it is first down.
Yeah, Kobe Cruz has to come off the field due to his helmet coming off. And I believe, as we got a play clock reset, a little Homer clock action going on here. I believe that was Ezra Gustafson. Yeah, Ezra Gustafson comes in for Kobe Cruz, and he's up top with Lamarian Curry. You got Houston Russell near side. I can't tell who's in the slot near side.
Kentrell Bazell is in the backfield with Ben Harris. Ball is snapped. Oh, man, broke through. Harris is open on the left side. He's going to break across midfield. He's going to move all the way to the out of bounds there, and he is going to get up all the way down to the 46-yard line in Eagle territory. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Titans.
Yeah, great job by Ben just recognizing the blitz. Blitz got all the way through to him. I believe that was number 55, Kevin Green for Dell City, just busting through the line, jumping the snap perfectly, and forcing Ben to actually roll out to his left, not his throwing side.
7 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the game. Lamarian Curry up at the top of your screen. Houston Russell at the bottom of your screen. It's going to be a quick pass out to Lamarian Curry, and he gets up across the 41, and that's going to be good for another Titan first down.
Result of the play will be another Titan first down.
Just a quick pace, not too fast, trying to use a little bit of clock. 7 minutes and 13 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And this is a ball control game even with the pass.
Absolutely, and you're seeing it here is, they're trying to just do quick hitters and get out of bounds to kind of reset, but, they're going to try to stay in bounds and let that clock chew.
Gavin Haynes split out wide to the bottom of your screen, double back set. Hunt and Bazell in the backfield. Going to hand off to Bazell. No, Harris keeps the ball. He comes around. He's going to get across the 40 and walk out of bounds there at about the 37-yard line.
Nice 5.5-yard pickup there by Ben Harris. He fooled everybody.
He really did. He fooled me.
Didn't quite fool the Eagle defense, though. As, Dell City, they just have so much speed. They can cover those 52.5 wide yards very, very quickly. And they were able to cut Ben Harris out.
So it's 2nd and 6 for the Titans. 2-back set. One man at the top of your screen. Going to be a handoff there to Bazell. Bazell's across the 40, across the 35, and gets hit hard there at the 34. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and a little more than 3. bring up third down, a little more than 3. Actually, they moved the ball back to the 35. He fell completely down. I thought they might give him the 33, but looked like they were going to resettle it back to the 34, so now they just gave him to the 35. That's only a 2-yard pickup.
Looks like we're going to go Trojan horse here.
It's going to be a long 4 yards to pick up here.
Ben Harris and Gavin Haynes jog off, and that's exactly what we're going to have as Javion Hunt is in the Trojan horse. Corley called timeout.
So Carl Albert calls a timeout. There's 6 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the game. It is third down and 4 when we come back here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Moving in. All right, everybody get in real quick.
You just hold it like this, and you don't need a flash.
Learning with VR. Finals, baby! You know I got this!
I got an A. Nailed it.
We did it! Rose State College. Going somewhere starts here.
Third down and 2, the ball, or third down and 4, the ball is on the 35-yard line. Ben Harris is in, backed up by Javion Hunt. Man in motion is Gavin Haynes from left to right. He's going to throw it out here to Haynes. Oh, he was wide open and just a bad throw down in the grass there on Haynes. He didn't have anybody around him, and so that's going to bring up fourth down. The ball is at the 35-yard line, 6 minutes and 15 seconds left. And it does look like that Coach Corley has decided to go ahead and go for this.
Trust your defense enough here.
It's an important play here, and so you got to kind of have the right play going in. It's not time to do anything fancy. It's time to just pick up 4 yards. That's what you need. 2 men at the top, 2 men at the bottom. Javion Hunt in the backfield. No, that's Kentrell Bazell who's going to split out to the left.
Timeout, Del City.
Del City calls timeout when they see what's going to happen. And so 6 minutes and 13 seconds left. Fourth down and 4. Ball at the 35-yard line in Eagle territory. I think we're just going to stay here.
Yeah.
This is an exciting part of the game, is to watch the chess match that's going on. I said one of the things that I said at the break when we were off the air was these two football staffs know each other extremely well.
Yep.
And cut out of the same cloth, if you will, in many ways.
The Gary Rose tree.
And so there is a lot of chess playing going on here, and so a very good call there by Coach Dunn to kind of wait and see what was going to happen and call the timeout before the ball was snapped.
And a great call by Brandon Johnson and Coach Corley of showing Trojan horse right before the timeout there, and then you come out and you put Kentrell Bazell at single-man backfield, and then you motion him out to the left, and you force them to take that timeout. This is more than just this play. You're taking away a timeout from your opponent as you have 6 minutes, 13 minutes left in a tied ball game.
13 seconds.
13 seconds.
13 seconds. Yeah.
That'd be a long ball game.
6 minutes, 13 minutes.
It's going to feel like 6 hours and 13 minutes.
That's 19 minutes if you add that up. Yeah. So, all right, well, we're back to action here, and where the ball is on the 35-yard line. Fourth down and 4.
I saw the smoke come out of your ears when you added that up.
Yeah, well, I had to take my shoes off. That's why.
All right, Eagles fans, I need you to get up.
So here we are. You got to wonder, hey, do we feel good about what we called? Is that what we're going to do again? 2 men at the top of your screen, 2 men at the bottom. Everybody is up for the Eagles. Harris takes the ball. Man cuts through. He's got Houston Russell with the catch down there to the 20-yard line. Beautiful pitch and catch. First down.
QB1 to QB2 for the connection.
First down, Titans, and we are in the red zone. Triple Elite. Find world-class designs and hot new styles at Triple Elite.
All right, 5 minutes, 57 seconds, and counting, as Carl Howard's definitely going to start taking their time here.
Well, you want to use every bit of that clock as we go forward here, knowing that at this point, I mean, Jacob Eddy was kicking 30-yard field goals, 30-yard field goals earlier, but we don't want to necessarily see that. Bazell's going to get caught in the backfield, drugged down there at the 25-yard line, loss of 5, second down and 15.
That was from the Viper position, number 84, the senior, Savant Cephas, coming in and making the stop in the backfield. 5-yard loss for the Titans.
That was number 8.
Second down and 15.
5 minutes, 15 seconds, and counting.
Puts Carl Albert back down to the 25 of the Eagles for the second and long.
Well, here we go. I mean, it's hard to make a 5-minute drive out of a 25-yard field, but
it's doable.
You want to slow it down. The play clock is all the way down to 4. Harris takes the snap, throws the ball, a little screen inside to Kobe Cruz, 20, down to about the 16-yard line. And that's where they're going to place the ball, from the 25 down to the 16. So that was a 9-yard pickup, and is going to bring up third down and 6.
Great play call there. Just using Del City's aggression against them.
Yeah, that little inside screen does catch you. So here we are, third down and 6, the ball at the 16-yard line. Kentrell Bazell is in the backfield with Harris. Got 3 men at the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom of your screen.
Trips high, and there's no safety
Del
coverage.
City is going to take a timeout again. That burns their second timeout. They only have 1 timeout left. We're going to take a timeout with them. We'll be right back with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Hi, my name is Zach Knudsen. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in Oklahoma City. I'm a specialist in hip and knee preservation, in particular cartilage restoration, hip arthroscopy, minimally invasive procedures to try to salvage hips and knees and try to prevent them from going on to arthroplasty or joint replacement. Orthopedics is unique in that it is the ability to have somebody who's injured, their life has changed, and we fix them and they can go back to doing the things that they love.
So here we are with 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Kirk Norman and Braden Conover on the call, and we're happy to have you with us this evening for a very good game from 6A, 2, and 5A, where the Carl Albert Titans have come over to Del City on the inaugural of their new stadium and field, and the score is 14-14. Really couldn't set up any better fourth quarter than this, could you, Braden?
Absolutely not. This is the pucker factor. It's all the way to a 10 right now.
Third down and 6, 2 men at the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom of your screen. Kentrell Bazell is in, backing up Ben Harris in the backfield. Harris takes the snap. He's going to run the ball. He's across the 10 and down to the 8.
He got it.
That is a Titan first down. Give me some of that. They're going to put the ball back to the 9-yard line. Still a first down.
I love it when the call is quarterback wham. That was a beautiful, beautiful play call.
First and goal for the Titans at the 9-yard line. 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes, just went to 3:57, 3:56. Is there any way we can make that go any faster?
I can talk to the guy next door.
Okay. Double back set. Gavin Haynes is split out to the bottom of your screen. Hunt and Bazell are in the backfield. And it's going to be Bazell with the ball across the left side, across the 5. 3, 2, 1, touchdown! Carl Albert. No flags on the field, and there it is. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the game. Carl Albert goes in from 9 yards out on a Kentrell Bazell run across the left side. And now we're going to wait and see what can happen here with Dax Swanner, Houston Russell, and Jacob Eddy with the point after try.
A little too much time for my comfort, even though they only have one timeout remaining.
Very much so. But you're right. We forced him into taking 2 timeouts, 1 timeout left. That's important right now. Yep. The ball is down. The kick is up. And
it's good.
It's good. And so that brings the scorer, Carl Albert, 21, and Del City 14. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
We're back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where the Carl Albert Titans just took a 7-point lead. That was a 63-yard drive. It took up 12 plays, and the most important, 4 minutes and 22 seconds burned off the clock during that. Probably the most important play of that drive was Harris to Russell on that pass across the middle, which gave him the first down, and then pushed in by Kentrell Bazell from 9 yards out. That is a pooch kick. It's touched there, and so the ball is taken at the 10-yard line. And he's going to move across the 25. There's flags all over the field. And I can see 1, 2 at least.
Start stripping that ball.
There's a scrum there. And the ball is taken all the way up to the 40-yard line. Let's just
it's all right. It's coming back, folks.
Let's just hope that it is.
I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
3 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's see what all the laundry is about. Thank you. See what all the laundry is about here. Got there right now. The referees are pointing. Oh, there's a flag here. Oh, there's a flag there. It's a holding on Del City,
and a block in the
back.
And
a block in the back on Del City. And so you want to take that from that spot foul there about the 28-yard line.
Now, for the viewers at home, do both of those count for 25 yards, or is it just the?
You know, I think we're gonna get this back to about it should go back to about the
holding
18.
is declined. So the block in the back will be accepted.
All right, should go back to about the 18-yard line, and that's where the ball is going to be placed, is at the 18-yard line after the penalty. And so the scrum, the rugby scrum up to the 40, had no bearing whatsoever. So, all right, so now you're going to see we've got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, and this is where. I think you're going to see the possibility of Jacoby Smith kind of airing the ball out here, doing some things with his legs. And
gotta contain.
The Titans are actually back a little bit with that in mind themselves.
Yep. And they're going to be playing towards. They're going to be shading towards the sidelines because they only have 1 timeout remaining.
2 men at the top, 2 men at the bottom. Jacoby Smith's going to run right up the middle, and he's going to get caught there about the 26, 27-yard line. So he goes from the 18, I say the 27, it's to the 22.
Nathan.
18 up to the 22, and that actually keeps the clock running. That is a good thing for the Titans. That's going to bring up second down and a long 6.
2:55 and counting, as Nathan Mooney was the one to make the stop there.
22 seconds left on the play clock, and they're still bringing the play in. 2 minutes and 45 seconds just rolled past.
No, if you're Del City, I mean, there's plenty of time for you.
One
not too much of a
timeout.
hurry.
Carl Albert's pulled up to the line just a little bit more. Jacoby Smith's going to throw it out here in the flat to number 14,
Keep
and
him
it
in
is
bounds.
caught, and he keeps him in bounds all the way. That ball is taken up to about the 26-yard line, and so that's going to be 2 yards short of a first down. It's going to bring up third down and 2 for the Eagles.
Jaquio Mitchell on the reception as there's 2 minutes and 16 seconds now and counting.
2 minutes and 16 seconds. 3 men to the top of your screen, 1 man to the bottom, H-back out here to the left.
Single coverage, got 2 high safeties. They're going to play the middle.
Jacoby Smith's going to run across this left side. He's got the first down and more. He gets pounded off of another man. He is in open field, and now it's just going to be a foot race to the end. Kobe Cruz is going to catch him out there at about the 22-yard line in Titan territory. Ball is going to be placed at the 21, first down for the Eagles at the Titan 21.
1:53 remaining, and the clock is going to stop due to Smith getting out of bounds.
Well, what we said when we came into this drive was he's going to make it with his feet and with his arm, and that's what we've tried to do, but his arm hasn't been putting it out there, but his feet sure did then because he just changed the attitude of the entire field there with about a 52-yard run. Jacoby Smith, L.J. Brown in the backfield. He hands off to L.J. Brown. L.J. Brown's across the 20, into the 15. He gets hit hard there and knocked back. The ball is going to be placed at the 16-yard line. That's a 5-yard pickup, brings up second down and 5 from the 16-yard line.
Minute 38 and counting. Obviously, the Eagles have plenty of time on their side now.
You can bend, but you just can't break. And
Absolutely.
Now we've got to really stiffen up the defense here. L.J. Brown in the backfield, 2 men to the bottom, 1 man to the top. Jacoby Smith is going to take the snap. He hands off to Brown. Brown is hit there hard. He gets back to the 15, so a pickup of 1. And that's going to bring up third down and a long 4.
Mason still at the bottom of that pile there. As we're going to eclipse the minute mark.
We're at 1 minute right now and counting. 19 seconds left on the play clock. Jacoby Smith is going to take the snap, and he's going to drop back to pass. He's going to throw a pass out here in the flat to number 14. Was he in bounds?
Yes, he was.
The answer is yes, and that's going to stop the clock. He is going to be down at about the 9-yard line, so it's going to be first and goal at the 9-yard line with 47 seconds left in the game.
Jaquio Mitchell on the reception. Covering was Jackson Holland, number 21. 47 seconds remain.
There we go. The referee just reset the play clock. 47 seconds. The clock should be started, and there it comes.
And back judge is going to come in, and we're going to have to reset the clock here.
The clock should have run off about 5 or 6 seconds because the clock did not start here. And I know that there are some Titan fans that are at home with a stopwatch in their hand, and they know good and well that the clock should have run. So I've got to be careful what I say here in the midst of this. But I would say that maybe there's some experience at this with the guy next door here. So okay, 47, and they're going to start it over again.
On the white cap signal.
On the white cap, that's right. And so, and the clock should be running.
And it's not.
Here we go. All right, so Jacoby Smith.
Timeout, Carl Albert, and Corley is fired up. He did not like what his defense was doing there.
On the field, called by the Carl Albert Titans.
Well, Coach Corley calls a timeout, and he's emphatic about getting them over there, and he's going to tell them what he thinks so that we are here with the first down and goal at the 9-yard line.
You know, this is something we saw last year with Coach.
He's getting all of his players on the field down on a knee, making sure that each and every single one of his players are listening to what the coaches are saying.
So Coach Dunn is over here on this side, and he's coaching up the offense. Coach Corley's over there coaching up the defense for the Titans. And as we said, these staffs know each other very, very well. And as I talked about just a few minutes ago in regard to the chess match that's going on, now both teams have one timeout left, 47 seconds left in regulation of this game. And the score is 21 for Carl Albert, 14 for Del City.
Even if Del City does get 6 here, don't count that 7th. Because Ezra Gustafson, they've had plenty of blocked field goal attempts over the past few games, and so it's not going to be over just because they score if they do score here.
That is correct. And I'll remind you what Coach Cameron Couch said: you only have to win by 1. So
is that the spread?
I don't think so. All right, 3 men to the top of your screen. Nobody to the bottom. We've got L.J. Brown in the backfield with Jacoby Smith.
Trips up high. No safety
Jacoby
help.
Smith's coming back. He's going to take the ball and run, and he is hit there at about the 7-yard line.
It's Keon Dickerson.
They're going to give him the 6. So it's second down and goal at the – actually, he's at the ball is at the 7. Second down and goal at the 7.
30 seconds of counting.
25.
Another timeout by Coach Corley, and that's the last for the Titans.
That's Carl Albert's last timeout. We're going to stay with you here because this is, you could cut the air with a knife up here, and I know you can on the side of the field as well. It's a great night for football, Braden.
It's beautiful weather.
Let me set this up for you. I wish it were about 4 inches of snow on the ground, and then I could say, we're here at the frozen tundra. 26 seconds to go. Carl Albert Titans leading 21. But I'm not. It's a beautiful
Pat
night.
Summerall would be proud.
Well, it's a beautiful night for football, and 26 seconds left in regulation. And Del City is knocking on the door from the 7-yard line. And, 65 degrees, feels like 63. Wind south-southeast at 6 miles an hour. I've got one of the greatest producers of all time sitting next to me that he can pull this stuff up. I want to remind you of our fourth quarter sponsor. Our fourth quarter sponsor is Robert Manger, House Representative, District 101 for over 3 decades. He fought to keep us safe as a lawman. Now, let him continue to fight for our future. Re-elect Robert Manger as your state representative, District 101. 26 seconds left. Second down and goal. Ball is at the 7-yard line. 3 men split out to the right. Doesn't look like Del City's changed anything. Carl Albert's a little bit lined up differently. We've got L.J. Brown moving to the right side of Jacoby Smith. Jacoby's going to take the ball. He's going to drop back. He's going to run out to the right side. He's got some open man. Oh, it's almost picked off there. Beautiful defense there. I think that
was Dondi King.
I was going to say, I think that might have been Dondi King who picked off the interception last week for 50 yards. But he almost had that one in his hands, and he would have had a little bit of running room to get out of there. But the ball, it's now third down, 19 seconds left, third down and goal. The ball is at the 7-yard line.
2 plays of the rest of our lives, boys.
Play clock is at 17, 16, working its way on down. Got 1 man to the bottom, 2 men to the top.
Sherrod Davis solo coverage up there.
This is an obvious running play. They're going to go two downs, there's no doubt. And so pass across the middle. Oh, almost intercepted again. It was a tight spiral that he threw in there in the hole, but it was incomplete. And now we're down to 4th down and goal from the 7-yard line.
There was a slew of Titans there. I believe that was Dondi King once again, as well as Ezra Gustafson breaking up that pass.
Corey O'Hagan comes out. Mason McNeil goes in. Corey's helmet came off, and so he's got to step out for a play. But it's 7 yards to go for the touchdown, and that's all you can do. It's 4th down and goal from the 7. So Jacoby Smith is going to – he tried to draw him off sides. Del City's going to take their timeout.
Yeah, you got man-to-man coverage across the board. Coach Corley's, man, he's just trusting this defense. They're going to learn on the job.
You know, Braden, I got to tell you, I mean, however this next play comes out, this defense has grown up a lot tonight. They have played a better second half. There is no doubt about that. They have played a better second half.
They really have.
And they have done what they had to do to keep themselves in this ball game. And you've got to be proud of these young men for everything that they're going through right now. And they're growing up.
Absolutely. And there's going to be some growing pains, as we saw throughout this game. It wasn't just, split at the half, but, like I said, they're learning on the job. This isn't just your normal internship.
No.
This is some hard work. Got to bring your hard helmet every single day, every single snap. And so far, these guys have answered the toll.
15 seconds left in this game. And really, time is not as important right now as just this play.
Absolutely.
4th and goal. Ball is at the 7. And both teams are working out how this is going to play out. And so you've got to know that there's probably something in the bag down here on the offensive side. And the defense has got to be able to respond to anything that comes at them at this point.
Yep, and if my math checks out, both teams are out of timeouts.
Yes, I believe that is correct. So here it is, 15 seconds to go. This is what Friday Night Lights are all about right here, baby. You got the band playing. You've got fans from the other side screaming and yelling. You've got people up, and this is exciting. The student section on the other side for Carl Albert is up and going crazy, and the cheerleaders and pom-pom girls are going everywhere. I mean, this is what Friday Night Football is all about.
Yep. Yeah, Corey O'Hagan tried to sneak out there.
4th and goal from the 7-yard line. 15 seconds left. Del City shows a 2-back set for the first time tonight.
It's Davion Mooks back there alongside L.J. Brown.
2 men to the bottom, 1 man to the top.
Sherrod Davis to the top. Solo coverage, no safety help. It's going to be a fade. Sherrod's a very tall receiver. I believe he's 6'3", 6'4".
Ball is snapped. It's going to be a fade to the inside. No, it's broken up. Broken up. Carl Albert will take over on downs with 11 seconds to go in this football game. The score is 21-14 in favor of Carl Albert Titans. They held. That's what they had to do. They held.
Bend, don't break.
Bend, don't break. That's what we said earlier. And it's a turnover on downs for the Carl Albert Titans, who have 11 seconds to snap this ball. No timeouts left.
Just take a knee.
And that should be the victory formation that we're going to see here with Ben Harris. The ball is at the 7-yard line. Hey, this Del City team's going to go a long ways this year.
Yeah, you hate to see the Eagles go 0-2 to start the year, but if Coach Dunn knows anything, it's how to turn around a program.
That's right.
He's done that here at Del City. So if he can do it over the course of his tenure, he can surely do it for this season.
He has done a fantastic job, and as the clock ticks away, the Carl Albert Titans will go 2-0 on the season with this win over the Del City Eagles with the score of 21-14. What a great game that was played today. And as the teams do now, they point at each other across the field because we don't shake hands due to the COVID situations. And so they're going to point to each other across the field and let each other know. And so what a great game. We're going to be right back with you with our player of the game and our interviews from we're going to be right back with you with our player of the game and our interviews from the field with Braden Conover. We'll be right back with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Since 1908, Cameron University has served students from all over the world. With nearly 50 degrees in 2-year, 4-year, and graduate programs, we have something to inspire you. Health and wellness facilities plus a wide variety of clubs and activities will help you find your perfect fit. Small class sizes allow you to be yourself while discovering your future potential as part of the Aggie family. Come experience the Axe. Enroll today at www.cameron.edu.
Fallout Sports is your leader in team sports, specializing in outfitting the entire team with screen printing, embroidery, team sports uniforms using dye sublimation from start to finish. They are truly your one-stop shop. With over 13 years of experience, you can trust the job will be done right with all work done in-house. Fallout Sports, 534 North Penn, phone 405-701-5933.
Did you get that new F-150?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Greg Darnell Ford.
How was it?
Darn good!
We've got darn good deals with 0% interest for 72 months on most 2020 models. F-150s as low as $459 a month. Escapes as low as $349 a month. Fusions as low as $319 a month.
There's a new sheriff in town, and I'm laying down the law on low prices.
Hudiburg, the dealership Oklahomans can count on.
Why can you count on them? Because they give their customers more.
Oklahoma is growing, and Hudiburg is growing too, with 5 different brands and thousands of new and used vehicles.
Hudiburg, 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 Hudiburg! Wow! It's been 60 years and Hudiburg is still here.
You can count on Hudiburg. We'll give you more.
Hudiburg.com.
You can count on Hudiburg, we'll give you more.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network, where tonight the Carl Albert Titans took on the Del City Eagles at their inaugural of their opening press box and field, and they beat the Eagles 21-14 in the final 15 seconds of the game. And so we're so excited. Tonight we have the opportunity to interview our player of the game. And our player of the game is from Fallout Sports, Oklahoma's only in-house, fully customizable team uniform supplier. Sublimation is our specialty. 405-701-5933. And so our player of the game tonight is none other than Nathan Mooney.
I'm here. Thanks, Kirk. I'm here with Nathan Mooney. Nathan, fantastic turnaround from last week to this week by the defense. You had a fumble recovery as well as a fumble forced. Just what was the mindset all week?
It's just gap defense. Play sound defense. Really, don't get out of your gaps. Play hard. Play together. Opportunistic.
You guys led up a 99.5-yard drive to close out the first half. What was the message at halftime?
If they want 99 yards, they can have it. They're a good team, but I don't think they're going to go 99 yards every time. So they can have 99 yards one time.
What were the adjustments made at halftime? I mean, obviously this is a younger group from last year. Just was it like a settle down, or was it just, hey, we practiced this all week, let's get our stuff together?
That was basically we just had to settle down and play together. I mean, it was a hard first half. They're a good team. I mean, nothing else to say about it.
All right, Kirk, that was Nathan Mooney. We'll see him next week at Shawnee.
Oh yeah.
I'm also here with Coach Corley. Coach, fantastic win, great comeback. Or not comeback, but a bounce back from last week to this week defensively. What was the message all week?
Well, first of all, I don't know what they charged. They didn't charge enough to get into that football game. That was a heck of a high school football game all the way across. But
that's right, Coach.
Hey, it's a deal where you got to get better every week. We always preach that, and thought we had a good week of practice. And Del City's a heck of a football team. There ain't no question about it. Just so proud of our guys for just staying in there fighting and fighting and fighting and. You know, I came up under a guy over at Northeastern that used to scream out all the time, Coach Eckert. You know, players got to make plays. I've said that many times, and their players made plays, our players made plays. We made a few more plays right there on that last drive defensively, but it was across the board. You know, our offense made some big plays. What a big throw and catch down here on 4th down to from Ben to Houston Russell. Wow, what an awesome play. Again, players got to make plays, and they stepped up. What stallions right there. And then defensively, the goal line stand down there was just fun. That's fun.
You know, I was about to ask you about that 4th down call. Was there any hesitation at all between you and Brandon Johnson to go for it there?
No, we were going for it, yeah.
And then defensively, you know, these guys seem to just be learning on the job. Just, you know, what is it to have a younger group that's learning so quickly?
Well, it's good. That's a good thing. And again, get tested like that against a really, really good football team. They had to grow up in a hurry, and I thought we did, you know, All
right, Coach, congrats on the win, and I'll see you at Shawnee.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Kirk, back to you.
Hey, great job there, Braden, and Coach Corley was absolutely right. I mean, when you begin to think about this night and don't want to be too emotional, but here on 9/11, here dealing with COVID, and us wondering if we were ever even going to get to play football this year, and now to have a game the second week of the year to turn out like this, just an absolute wonderful game of back-and-forth football and really gutting it out. And you can't appreciate this any more than to live in a free country like we live in, and remembering that on 9/11 for those that have lost their lives and for the freedom that we have. The freedom isn't free, and we know that. And so we come to you this evening from Del City, Oklahoma, just literally a 6-mile drive across. The Midwest City and Del City butt up next to each other. But what an incredible evening of football, and watching Del City play hard, Carl Albert play hard, and then right there the last 15 seconds of a game that lets you feel what Friday Night Lights is all about. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. It has been fun to be here and to get excited and to feel the nerves and to know that you're out there watching and listening. We appreciate all the time that you give to us here for Carl Albert Athletics. I want you to remember the final score on the Oklahoma Sports Network Facebook. Get all the scores from around the area and nominate a player for Player of the Week, and then go and vote for that player. Nominate a player and vote for that player. Get your scores from all around the area, not just the scores from Carl Albert and Del City and Midwest City, but scores from all over the area. Braden, what do you finish up with this evening?
Well, first I got to catch my breath.
Right.
I mean, that was just a heck of a game. That's a heck of a football game. I think Coach said it best when he said that they didn't charge enough to come watch this one.
That's right. So here we are, second week of the year. We've had 2 good ball games, and tonight was an absolutely excellent ball game. We get to celebrate this because of the freedom of our country, and especially this evening as we celebrate here the rededication of the Robert Kalsu Stadium, a man who gave his life for our country that we could still play football some 40 years later. So we give you thanks for being with us, and we thank you for the Oklahoma Sports Network to be able to provide this service for us that we can show you Carl Albert football, home of the Titans, and the Drive for 5. We'll be back with you from Shawnee, Oklahoma, where we take on the Shawnee Wolves next Friday night on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast, or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or